You catch my girl, eggs open, better smash that. Don't be surprised if she asks where the cash at.
Let's talk about what you don't want you to talk about on the Donna Leon Show, Rock Talk Radio, Monday through Friday, 12 noon, Eastern Standard Time, or GeorgiaGospel.com. WGAG Radio.
Come on in, 901. Give us a mic check.
Mic check. What's up, man? It's Tony.
Hey, Tony, what's good with you? How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm making great. Sitting here with my little notes, and I kind of needed to get a little clarity, a little clairvoyance like this. So, like in the triple darkness that's before hydrogen. So in a sense, they're like a portal that they're like using to as a conduit to maneuver. So they're basically creating this 18th dynasty, right? I mean, they're basically creating this 18th galaxy, right? From Ilium, coming from Ilium. Where hydrogen.
No,
okay.
The 18th galaxy, Ilium, is where one of the galaxies is where they reside. Mm-hmm. But that's already manifested that's already exists as let's do it this way. That's already a sum of a thing. Right? Yeah, but that's already a something. That's a place. That's another galaxy. With that predates where we at predates Ilium. Where we at the triple darkness, we know that it predates Ilium.
Okay. Because I was kind of on the impression that that's like the portal that they use to shoot through to reconstruct other galaxies.
No, because if there's a 19th galaxy, there has to be a 20 galaxy. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a 21 galaxy. 25. There has to be 99 galaxies, at least 999 billion. There's more than just the 19 galaxies that exist in El Kalum. On this side of the sun, right, would give you our galaxy, which is the 18th galaxy, right?
Right.
Which is Terra, right?
Terra.
Right. Which is basically all of this on this side of the sun would be considered the physical plane. Why they call it planet, the physical plane, right? Okay. On the other side of the sun is where you will find Ilium, the 19th galaxy. Behind this sun is where you will find Ilium, the 19th galaxy.
In a physical existence.
Absolutely.
After hydrogen.
No, not hydrogen. We're not talking about hydrogen. We're dealing with galaxies right now. Okay. You understand?
But the galaxies are composed of hydrogen, right?
Absolutely. Okay. But the 19th galaxy has the same kind of setup like the 18th galaxy. Like here, it has planets. And we already know that one of those planets is Risk. And it has suns, it has moons, it has stars.
Don, I think he's confusing the planes with the actual galaxies themselves. That's what I think he's confusing.
No. What I'm saying is I heard like when you said Anu can manifest in physical form on this planet from the ethers. And the ethers don't have any elemental composition, they're ethers. So what I was asking was, do they travel, the place where they traveled from through the ether, were they physical before they came into the ethers to come to this physical? You get what I'm saying?
No, they wasn't. No, they wasn't. It wasn't physical before they came on the other side of hydrogen. It wasn't physical.
Okay. All right.
When they come from the other side of hydrogen, which is the ethers, ether 1 all the way to the ether 9, when they come from behind the hydrogen into the elemental charts or the like hydrogen and all the rest of them, that's when they're manifesting. Okay. That's when they are a combination of those 9 gases on this side of the periodic chart, on our periodic chart or elementary chart, which at that point they are in form. They still will be in form. Anything on the other side of hydrogen, of course, we know is ether, right?
Right.
On the side of hydrogen, we're dealing with energy. We're dealing with light. We're dealing with matter. We're dealing, you know what I'm saying? We're dealing with all of that.
Okay.
Right? We're dealing with weight. We're dealing with a sum of a thing.
Right. Not the no thing.
Not the no thing. Absolutely.
Okay.
Not the no thing.
Right.
We ain't at the no thing yet. Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you go to the first primary creation, mind you, let's go back to existence. We know that existence predates creation, right?
Right.
So the first creation, right, is before the lightest atom, before hydrogen. We're dealing with just energies. Okay?
Okay.
All right? Energies existed.
Gases, right?
Wait, let me talk to Tony for a minute. Energies existed before hydrogen, before the lightest atom. Okay? All right? As a form of energy existing in the form of gases. Yes, newbie. 9 levels of gases. Now, we're back at the BIAPs, ZETIs, and ZEALs that we were just reading. But they were referred to as subatomic energy, before weight or the sum of any weight. And they were registering as nothingness. Okay? Yet existing, being lighter than the first form of existence, hydrogen.
All right.
Okay, we clear, right?
Like the quark.
Okay.
The atom.
Right. So now we're going into the secondary creation, the evolutionary creation, the evolving of existence from density to matter. That would basically be your Ilyun, will be your galaxies, will be your planets, will be your stars. Okay? Because then it starts to evolve as existence from density to matter, as atoms to cells to organisms to bodies. And what do they call planets? Bodies. Heavenly bodies is what they call it. And planets itself is a living organism. They're living organisms. Okay? And of course, ghostational would be the third. Now let's cross the street on page 3, if you got your tablet. On page 3, let's cross the street to the other side. And now we're going to get into the 3 sets of 3. Okay? Or triple darkness. What it say? What it say? It's right at the top. Yeah, you, Tony. What it say? The 3 sets of 3. What it say?
Oh, I'm listening to you. I don't have a holy tab.
Okay, well in that case, now I understand. Okay, so in that case, now we're clear that the primary creation of the first creation is before the lightest hydrogen, right? Energies existed. We clear. It's gases. This is creation. This is not existence. This is creation. Right?
Existence was already here, right? Because existence was already here.
Right. So the first creation was the gases, the 9 levels of them, the quarks, the BIAPs, the ZETIs, not the hydrogen. Okay?
Right.
All right. Cool. And it all weighed nothing. Right? Okay. So now we go into the sets of 3, the 3 sets of 3, which is the triple darkness. 1, 2, 3, 3 sets of 3. Now we're before, honey. We're going to be before the gases. Okay.
Okay. But we're still in existence.
No, we're in. We're
you're in evolutionary creation now.
Into existence now.
Right.
Yeah, we're going. No, Tony. We're going into existence now. We've done with hydrogen. None of this shit exists. Energies, gases, hydrogen and all that. None of that shit exists. We're going into triple darkness now, where there's nothingness, yet it exists. So now we're going into that.
Oh, you're going back. Okay,
yeah, we're going back. We're going to existence now. Because in order for something to exist, something would have to have weight. So basically, they're mixing up something as existence and not creation. So now we're going before creation. So the 3 sets of 3 are triple darkness. And the first set is before light, before energy, before matter. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
So Ilyun could not have existed. Ilyun was created. All right? Before light, before energy, before matter. The second set of triple darkness is before time. Ilyun has a time. It has an age, how long that galaxy lives. It has a time. So again, Ilyun had to be created just like this solar system or this galaxy had to be created. It didn't exist because it has a time, right? And it also has a place, and it also has a space. So in the 3 sets of triple darkness, the first is before there was light, before there was energy, before there was matter. The second set is before there was time, before there was space, before there was place. And Ilyun, of course, is a place. And it occupies a space, and it does have a time.
And the third set is mind, spirit, and soul, right?
Body, soul, and spirit. Yep, before there was a body, before there was a soul, and before there was a spirit. Those are your 3 sets of triple darkness. That's on the other side. Of hydrogen.
Wow. Okay. All right. Exactly. I got you.
Yeah. Okay.
I see you.
Of course, now your non-ether, when you're talking about those portals, let's just eliminate the portal because it seemed like it had to come through a hole or something, right? And if it had to come through a hole, then it already had to be something. They would already have to be something. but they were nothing. And then they came from behind. No, they came from hydrogen. They came to hydrogen and gathered up the gases that you see now on this side of the planet. Okay? And the non-gases, right, that exist on this side of the planet that will show you the combinations of non-ether, this is on this side of the sun now. And these gases can be known on Earth as radon, xenon, krypton, argon, neon, and helium. Yeah. Because it says non-ether is the combination of all existing gases of nature. Nothing anywhere can be as powerful as all existing gases. Now, on Earth, these gases are known as, you already know it, radon, xenon, krypton, argon, neon, and helium.
All together manifesting. Okay.
Right. But they're also called the noble gases on the periodic or elemental chart. Then he goes into that. Now, these gases, okay, therefore, non-ether is the most potent power of the universe. Non-ether is the original creator who grew out the universes. And then, boom, creation. Non-ether would be the creation, and ether would be the existence.
All right. I see.
Because non-ether always existed.
Even as no thing and something?
Yes, because that's on the other side of hydrogen. That's behind hydrogen.
Okay, I see. I don't want to take it too far.
We're dealing with gases. Yeah, we're dealing with gases. Because the first primary stage in creation, it predates hydrogen. So we're dealing with gases, 9 levels of them.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And the gases had gases, and these gases was conscious and conscience, or conscientious. I think that's how you say it, right, Newbie?
Conscience, yeah.
So everything out of all those gases grew the universes. Thus, you're going to have your galaxies. Then you're going to have your solar systems, your suns, your other planets, your other worlds. You're going to have the cosmos after that, because it grew the universes. The gases grew the universes.
Okay, and during... Mm-hmm. So during this time, were the melanites growing too?
It was growing along or with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we ship too, sweetheart. Yeah, but the original woolly-haired, dark-skinned Moors came along with the original creation. And let's go back to what is the fucking original creation. The original creation was what? Before the lightest atom.
Okay.
Yeah, the primary creation. It came along with it. It grew. It came along with the original creation. That is the same kind of ether forces that grew the universe. You get it? The same kind of ether forces that grew the universe. And we know that HAAYUH is in the universe. Yeah, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
All right, I'm with you.
Okay? And then it goes on to say that as nature was growing, these melanites were a part of the original growth. Melanin grew with original creation. So are the melanites the only ones that can move in first, since they were the first? Absolutely. So like we're the second evolutionary creation. So are we restricted just to seconds too? We're the evolutionary descendants of those melanites that came along with the universe. They came along with that grew with the universe. We're the evolutionary descendants. We're the second stage. We're the second part of creation. We're the second creation. Like I said, Nawabu informs us that there were 3 creations. We will be the secondary creation or the evolutionary creation because we are dense to matter, to atoms, to cells, to organisms, to bodies. We're the second evolutionary descendants. Yeah, because it says that we are the evolutionary descendants of the melanites. Okay. Yeah, and it take it right back and rewind it when Neff said that the Mr. White Man and White Woman was talking, and he saw dark or black motherfuckers coming out of ships. Oh, I've seen that video. Those would be considered the first creation. The melanin or the melanites Moors that grew with the universe. That's why they look like that. Right, that's why and they're the first. So we're the second evolutionary descendant. And evolutionary means that which came out of the first. Right, but then you also said the evolution itself means death. So is that like why we're the dying ones, so to speak, or does evolution, the death in evolution still apply to evolutionary creation? Yes. Absolutely. So we're basically falling down from the melanites. No, not really, down. because even in death, there's still a resurrection. Right. That's so we don't fall. Mm-hmm. So we'll fall from we're falling like you said. Once we leave this
we will remanifest as 6 ether beings, then as 3 ether beings, and then we resurrect again as 9 ether beings.
6 ether, 9 ether resurrects after 6 ether dies.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So then you'll come right back into a 9 ether state of being.
Okay.
Let's do it this way. Before you got here, you were behind hydrogen. You were nothing more than ether, right? Right? You were nothing more than ether. You could have been ether 1. But in order to manifest on this side of hydrogen, you had to at least get to either ether 6 or ether 9 to come on this side of hydrogen and manifest in the physical form. Because there's only 2 forms of ether that can actually come on the physical form, and that's 6 ether and 9 ether.
Okay.
You understand?
And where does this fit in with the cycle of life? With 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
6, 7,
with
8,
that. What is it called again, Neff? The will of existence.
Yes.
Where did that come in at? That's what you're asking?
Yes.
It's quite simple now. It comes in just like this. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's take 9, that will, and make that the primary creation. You got me? Do you have a mind's eye of what that wheel looks like? That you're talking about the Neff mentioned?
I'm looking at the wheel now.
Okay, good. Let me pull it up. Got it. Okay. So there's the 9, and the 3 is the opposite of 9, right? And the 2 6s on the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take 9 as the primary creation, whether it's going counterclockwise or clockwise, okay? Either way, it has to get to 6. Yes or no?
Yes, it has to.
6 would be considered the second evolution, the second creation, which is evolutionary creation, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So
and the 3 would be your third creation, your ghostational creation, the breath of life, the living soul, the existing conscious being. Okay? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we're going to go to what happens when 6 ether comes in human form and 9 ether come in human form. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the wheel. Because 9 ether produce 6 ether, right? That's your Caucasian, right?
Right.
And that's the 6. And 6 ether produce ghost. That's your 3. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your creation. That's your 3 creations.
Regardless if you go clockwise or counterclockwise.
Okay, now, and 6 ether produce ghost, because we know there's 3 creations, right? And 3 is ghost, 6 is evolution, bodies, organisms, and all that type of shit. Okay, now 6 ether produce ghost, and this is not to be mistaken with the hair range of 6, 7, and 8, okay? Or 9. Okay, here we go now. 9 ether will become 6 ether through time and age. What is the wheel called again? Time and existence. So through time and age, 9 ether will become 6 ether. Mm-hmm. That's evolution right there, because that's your second creation, which is evolution. And it says that 9 ether will become 6 ether through time and age, which means die, D-I-E. You got it? Mm-hmm. Now, you stay with me at 6 ether. What will 6 ether become?
6 ether will become 3 ether.
And 3 is ghost. It's the third stage. It's the ghostational creation. So we're not really looking at only death. We're looking at creation and death going hand in hand.
Yeah, all right.
Okay? Because even though 9 ether becomes 6 ether through time and age, which will die, 6 ether will become 3 ether. Let's do it that way, right? Through time and age, which is ghostational. Okay?
Exactly.
But now that we're at the 3 now, Tony, you can either, I don't know which 3, okay, the 3 that you're looking at, I'm going to the left. I'm going clockwise, right?
Okay.
Even though it's really counterclockwise, okay? But now you got 4, 5, and 6 again, right?
Right.
So 6 ether, albinos, is 9 ether, Nuwabians, and death, right? So when you're looking at 6 ether in the physical form, you're looking at a dying 9 ether being.
Exactly, I get it. So, but what I was caught up on looking at the wheel, I was like, well, it touches 6 ether twice.
Absolutely, because now it has to still go through the creation process, and I'll show you how. After the death of 6 ether, 9 ether resurrects again. So you see we at 6 now, and you see that wheel has to come right back to 9 to resurrect, no matter which way you go on that wheel. So we can go 9 at the top, right, and do it counterclockwise if you're looking at the wheel. So it'll drop down, 9 ether becomes 6 ether through time and age. Now we at 6. 6 ether becomes ghost through time and age. Now we at 3, right? And what does it say? After the death of 6 ether, 9 ether resurrects anyway. So it still has to go through those ethers to even come back to 9 counterclockwise. Anyway.
Right. Exactly. I see.
Right. Because mind you, the 2 creations, which is evolutionary, which is the 2nd creation, and tertiary, or how the fuck you pronounce that, newbie?
Tertiary.
Thank you. Which is the 3rd creation, is nothing more or nothing less than what?
Ghost, stationary.
Right, which is the breath of life, the living soul, and the existing conscious being. There's nothing racist about this. This is science. Yes, we know that we are, or we do have the breath of life, right? That's our 3rd form of creation. The living soul, and also the existing of consciousness in us. That's your 3rd creation.
Now we're going back into the 9 again after 6 ether dies and becomes 3 ether. That's when 9 ether is born again. We're moving, resurrecting.
Right, because then you give up the ghost. Because the 3rd creation is ghostational. So you give up the ghost. You give up the breath of life. When you die by yourself, right, you become the last stage of death, which is the first, which is one of the 3 stages of creation. You give up the life, the breath of life. You give up the ghost, the spirit or the soul that occupies your body. And now you become a conscious being. And a conscious being is nothing more than conscious gases.
Right, and you have to manifest.
Which means at that point you are now behind hydrogen back to ether. Listen, don't mistake non-ether you for non-ether existing.
I think that's what I'm doing too. Okay, I think
that's what you're doing. Right, that's what you're mistaking that. Once you become nothing but gas again, conscious gases, that's where you're at your ether, your non-ether state. You look like non-ether beings that grew the universe. Don't get us wrong. Don't get me wrong. We look like, we resemble them motherfuckers.
Right.
Because we are the evolutionary descendants of the real woolly-haired non-ether beings that came along and grew with the universe. Okay? But because what is it called now? The wheel of existence and time. All on this side of hydrogen, non-ether has to go through 6 and 3. All the ethers anyway, because we're on this side of hydrogen. We're not ether beings. We are not non-ether beings. We are just in non-ether form on this side. But we are not non-ether beings. In order to go from form, from flesh, from physical, you have to go back behind hydrogen in order to be pure conscious gases. Conscious and conscience or conscientious gases. And that we are not. We are just conscious beings. There it is. That's it right there. Say what? I can't hear you, Tony. Zena's having a hallelujah moment. Say it again, Tony.
So like you said, we can't be those non-ether beings. But in the physical form, I mean, we're not albinos, so we're not 6 ether beings. So in a sense that make us non-ether beings, but not the original non-ether beings.
Answer that question again. I'm sorry.
Like the 6 ether beings are I call all the animals, basically, all the straight-haired stringy, all the straight-haired people. Whether it be the Caucasian or the Indian or the Arab or whatever, they're all like 6 ether beings.
Okay, but you're only saying that they would be only 6 ether beings because of their what? Their color or their hair texture or what?
No, I'm saying they're the descendants of those that bailed out at 6 ether instead of growing to 9. They just bailed out.
That's right. Which means that they only would have 6 of the conscious and conscientious gases. That's all it takes is to get to the other side of hydrogen. Is at least 6 ethers.
Right.
To come on this side of hydrogen. One ether, you can't get to this side of hydrogen. 2 ether, you can't do it. 3, you can't do it. 4, you can't do it. 5, you can't do it. 6 or 9, you can go from behind that hydrogen and manifest in form. Because then you will become the side of hydrogen, you will become light, energy, and matter. And then you'll go down to the second creation, where then you will be born into or created be created into density, matter, atom, cells, and organisms and bodies. Then once you get all that, you come down to the third, to the body, soul, and spirit, which is the third creation. So it's 3 forms of creation in order to even manifest on this side.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's why it's not racism, it's science. Because even what you're looking at, all those people or Caucasians or Mongoloids or Arabs, whatever you want to call them, it still took them from behind hydrogen to manifest in front of hydrogen to become energy, light, matter, then take on the second form or the second creation, which is what? Matter, density, matter, atom, cells, the organisms, the bodies, then manifest on the third, which is the breath of life. They got that too in them. The living soul, they got that in them. The ghost, all of us have the ghost in us. Okay. You have to go through the 3 stages of creation in order to manifest on this physical form. In this physical form, you still have to go through the 3 stages of creation. They were all ether before coming on this side of hydrogen.
Okay. So that's what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were all ether before becoming on this side of hydrogen. Absolutely.
Exactly. All right.
Dawn, I have a question.
And don't forget this. Hey, Triple, don't forget this. Now, check it. Let me say this real quick, Triple. Okay, Tony? Understand this, okay? Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Therefore, the Melanites and their evolutionary descendants are the personification of the original creative forces. Who? 7 in all. Okay? 7 in all. As the 7 species of Riskians, you have 7 species of Melanites or Nuwabians called Negroids. Right?
Right.
And you have 3 species of Mongoloids and 2 species of Caucasoids. Now, here's your science, not racism. Now, the 3 species of Mongoloids, the 2 species of Caucasoids, the 7 species of Melanites, all growing out of the original Nuwabians. Even the 2 species of Caucasians grew out of the original Nuwabians.
They just didn't grow within in the beginning.
Hell no. It grew out.
I see. I see.
Absolutely. It grew out of the original. It grew out of non-ether. So thus, out of non-ether come 6 ether beings. That's why it says non-ether will become 6 through time and age. 6 ether becomes ghost through time and age. 6 ether albino is non-ether in death. Nuwabians in death. And ghost is the death of 6 ether. And after the death of 6 ether, non-ether resurrects again.
Okay. All right. You cut the light on with that one. All right.
Yeah, they all grew out of the original non-ether beings. Caucasians and Mongoloids. They grew out of the original Nuwabians. Or the Negroids, or the Riskians. Absolutely.
It just cracked the racism. I just look at them like they dead niggas.
Well, yeah, because when you're looking at an evolutionary stage take place. So you're looking at a dead Negro, a dying Negro. When you see Caucasians, you're seeing a dying Negro. That would be an evolutionary force takes place. An evolutionary stage. That's the second stage of creation, even though it's the second stage of death for non-ether. See, the second stage of creation, but it's also the second stage of death for non-ether. Because Because 6 ether is the death of non-ether. A non-ether will become 6 ether through time and age, die.
Exactly.
Come on, wait, I got Triple first, King, and give just be a little bit more patient. Hey, Triple.
Hey, Dawn. Hey, everybody. How you doing?
What the hell you doing now?
Some said, get up and listen to this shit. So I got up and listened to it. I don't know if it was you. I don't know who it was, but I heard, so I called in. Anyway.
It's an honor.
You did kind of already answer the question I was going to ask. What I was going to ask is, why would they choose to come in as a form that is not what we would consider to be non-ether. So this non-ether is
there are so many different time zones that are happening. You see what I'm saying? They didn't all come at the same time. When you're watching an evolution take place in different times on this side of the planet. That's what you're watching.
You answered the question. You already answered it because it came in waves. So we're seeing this stage that we're in right now, this wave. There's a whole set of waves before that, because you're right, it is an evolutionary process or a devolutionary process. Makes sense to me. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you're watching now. That's what we're seeing. So it's not that when you see 6 ether, you just basically, when you see any individual in 6 ether form, like Caucasian, you're seeing the death of 9 ether in them. So that means that they had to be 9 ether first before you could even see a 6 ether form in Caucasian. 9 ether was present, and in their time, they became 6 ether. So when you see a Caucasian, you're looking at time evolution taking place from 9 to 6. That's what you see in that Caucasian.
Okay, so that's why they
just like when you see
the life in it.
Right, just like, because remember now, our universe is dying. This is why we're in evolutionary birth. Because before there was ghost or 6 ether, it was all 9 ether prior to this on this planet.
Okay. Well, like
and because that wheel has changed from 9 to 6 is what you're seeing evolution take place in the universe, which we resemble the light. We resemble the universe. So if the universe is dying, that means 6 ether evolutionary forces is taking place. Because the color that we have now shows you, the form that we're in now shows you the death of 9 ether. Because the universe is dying.
Wow. Because we're not jet black like they was.
Well, no, it has not. Well, yeah, you can say that. And we damn sure is not conscientious as well. Right. It's conscious, but not conscious in inches. That's why we have to get from behind hydrogen, or like he say, get from behind the 9 ball. So you have to come from hydrogen and go back to ether. And there is a way to get to ether even on this physical form. Because if Anu can come down uninformed to inform and be detected, okay, and what you call your time and space, so can you do the same thing. And that is simply staying up for about 3 days, 72 hours, you already get from behind the hydrogen. You're already in ether now. You're working off of gases.
Hold up. You said if I could stay up 3 days.
Yes, you'll be behind hydrogen. You'll be working off of ether, pure ether, gases.
Try that shit. You gotta try that shit.
Yeah,
that is right.
Yeah.
The last time I did that, I thought I was God, honestly.
Exactly. Become God, for real.
I'm about to try that shit.
Yeah. That's why they like to keep the spell asleep on the being.
Right.
Yeah. Because then you'll be on the other side. You will actually start to go through the planes of existence.
This is Queen Vita from Memphis 10, and you are listening to WGAG Radio.
Hey, this is Wing Chung of the TWS Archangels, and you're listening to WGAG Radio.
What up, this Young Mayhem, and you tune in to WGAG Radio.
This is Yusuf with Private Side Solutions, and you're listening to WGAG Radio. Keep it locked right here.
Hey, this is Kate. Mama, listen to WGAG Radio.
Hi, this is Denise from Las Vegas, and you're listening to WGAG Radio.
This is Sabir out of North Carolina. I tune in to the Don Nicoleone Show, WGAG Radio.
Yeah. What up? It's the gods. I can ride. WGAG Radio, live from Brooklyn. You heard?
Hi, this is Minesweeper from Houston, Texas, and you're listening to WGAG Radio.
What up, people? This is Jah Elohim Bey from Tennessee, and you are listening to WGAG Radio.
What they do, this humble, live, MIA. You now tuned in to the Donna Leon Show on WGAG Radio, nigga.
This is 50 and retired, just outside of Chicago, and we listen to the Don Nicoleone Show on WGAG Radio.
Hi, my name is Juana Braxton, and of course I'm chilling with my girl, Don Nicoleone.
Hi, I'm Dr. Heavenly Thompson, married to Medicine, and I'm with Don Nicoleone.
I'm Renee Lawless, Catherine Cryer on Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots, right here on the Donna Corleone Show.
Hola, me llamo Tiana. Tú escuchas WGAG Radio.
This is Arrested Development, and we want to shout out WGAG Radio.
Right, peace.
Hey.
What's up, everybody? It's Dondria Nicole, and you're checking out WGAG Radio.
It's your boy Jahan Jones with WGAG Radio.
Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Demetria McKinney, letting you know that I am hanging out with WGAG Radio. Hi, we're Escape, and you know we're kicking it with WGAG Radio. Hi, I'm Evelyn Braxton. And I'm Trina Braxton from Braxton Family Values, and you are rocking it with WGAG Radio.
What up, y'all? It's Jermaine Dupree, and I'm chilling with WGAG Radio. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ashley Love Mills, and I'm here with WGAG Radio.
Yo, this is Larez Tate, and I love you.
What's happening, y'all? This is That Lover. You're listening to WGAG Radio. That's right. Keep it locked right here.
This your boy Tony calling from Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, man. WGAG motherfucking radio. Shout out to Don Nicoleone, the producer, the engineer, the creator, the inception maker. God damn it. The bitch walk a nigga from behind the 8-ball through the circle of time and deep in the reservoir of your motherfucking mind. So if you don't fuck with the Don and you don't fuck with WGAG, you're probably brain dead.
All Eyes on Egypt presents the Holy Tablets, backed by popular demand. Written and transcribed by Dr. Malachi Zodak Yokel, the receiver. This is the scripture that is divinely inspired that will bring about a long overdue change. Like the phoenix bird rising up out of its ashes. Up, you mighty people, come forth like Lazarus from the tomb. This tablet is food to feed the hunger and to nourish the soul, to give it strength. Rise up, stand up. Be counted amongst the people of this world. Be the first to get your copy of the Holy Tablets while supplies last. At All Eyes on Egypt, Monticello, Georgia, 706-468-2319.
Tune in to the El Holy Tablet Show every Friday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WGAG Radio.
Begin all prayer in thinking by using El Kulun, the All, prayer of the Ansars. O Heavenly One, the Most High, who is sustainer of all the worlds, we do accept the duty you have laid on us to clean up the filth made by that West and its non-submitting queens. O my sustainer, we beseech you to keep your hand over us to control the strings of the forces of our lives, our sustainer. If we do wrong, please show thy divine blessings and forgiveness on us. You are the only one that can raise us, true followers of the news bearers. And in thy name, we carry on an anthem for all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the El Holy Tablet Show. It is Saturday night, just in case some of y'all may have forgot. But we do it every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WGAG Radio. That's Real Nigga Radio. Yes. Great day to everybody that's tuning in, man. We are in the El Holy Tablet. Back to the beginning, Season 4, Episode 35, The Seed of Kadmon. That's the living soul for those that need to know. I'm going to go ahead and drop this real quick. Shout out to everybody on the call lines. Hope all is well with you and yours. This link I'm dropping into the Lockdown Radio again. What up, all the cellmates over there? And also I'm going to drop it in the after party. If I have still on the after party. And that link is the link to our home-based show. Instead of being able to call in through your cell phone, you can actually dial in, like load in or what do you call it? You're basically in. So click on that link right there. That gives you the Holy Tablet Show. There's a direct connect button. If it's not highlighted, refresh the page and then click direct connect, and you'll be able to get in on the call queue and still listen. And if you have to, if you want to, you can hit the one button on there. It's a little button pad that'll pop up as well, so you can hit the one button and to chop it up with us and all that type of shit. So great day to everybody on the call lines. Again, if you need the call-in number is 425-569-5274. That'll get you in, baby. Special shout out to everybody over there in the after party. That's our 24-hour voice-activated chat room. It's on paltalk.com, Pal with one L, Pal Talk, and just type in the search, download it, install it, of course, on your app or your PC or your laptop, whatever you got, and type in the search, the after party. You'll find us there, right there, 24 hours a day. Great day. RAWUH L is in the building. Special shout out to my man Brian O'Ryan. Great day, Brian. One time for She-Dog Mechanic. Great day, She-Dog. Good to see you. One time for my man Mush Miles. What up, Mush? So shout out to Nefertiti surviving the game. Great day, Neff. One time for Jay Jizzle. J1 in the building. Great day, J1. Gotta show some love to Twain Star, Double R in the building as well. And the L's. Great day, L's. Great day, Don, Nicole. Special shout out to Sister Zena also over there in the after party. And I don't know who is all up in the Lockdown Radio again, but we stream into that channel on YouTube. It's Lockdown Radio again. That's one word. Subscribe, hit the bell button, click all, and comment and like the show and the page itself. It'd be so great. And subscribe, and you'll be notified when we go live over there. But great day, Rosieologist in the building. Better shout out to B Nicole 999. Hope all is well with you, baby. And I'm not sure who else, but throw some ones up in there. Show you some love. I started this El Holy Tablet Show live a little bit sooner. Just in case, because I would like to take it, go over this Tablet 1, Living Soul, one more time before we get into the seed of Kadmon. So that gives us a little bit more time. I want to I don't want to miss anything. This might be the last time I ever do the El Holy Tablet Show again, or ever look into the El Holy Tablet. You never know. So I just want to take my time and get through this this tablet, the first tablet in the Living Soul that's entitled The Living Soul. I'll drop that is not it. I'll drop the link on the website link, the Internet Holy Tablets. I think I'm going to need my Holy Tablets, come to think about it, because there's some pages that's not on the online link. But this is where we at. So we're going to take it back to tablet 1 just for a minute. I'm going to take it slow because I really want to, if I don't want to miss nothing. If I point something out, then I'll point it out the moment I catch it. Yeah. So let me grab this other holy tablets for a backup. The book itself, just in case. And so, all right. So I'm about to get into it, though. So we are in the Living Soul, HAAYUH RAWUH. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, HAAYUH RAWUH, the Living Soul. We on page 685. That's the 3rd edition of the L's Holy Tablet. Chapter 7, Tablet 1, the Living Soul, Kulum. Lo, Anu Elunel, the Supreme, the Most High of the Anunnaki, who is praised, the Father of Enki and Mother Ninti. It was he who made the makers and taught them all who created the creators. And it was he who fashioned the fashioners. He is the one who is the originator of the originators, the builder of the built things before the first and after the last. Once you are out of love and compassion for yourself, then and only then can you overstand the physical world in which you reside and which you perceive through what you think to be your 5 senses. But in reality, when you did lay in the laboratory of Shempty and time had gone by, there was your barytheric gland removed from you. This maimed you and cut you off from random access to the divine. Originally, you had what was called Natir Tatin, the 7 senses that could activate 7 higher senses. You could ascend even higher until you ascend back into divinity, but you are still trapped by 1 sense, touch, which is multiplied by deception to 5. For to see, light touch nerve centers. To smell, particles touch nerve centers. To hear, sound waves touch nerve centers. And to feel, you reach and touch things, which activate your nerve centers. They multiply this 1 sense, the sense to really know, to see, hear, taste, smell, and feel. The removal of the barytheric gland removed the 4 higher senses, which were telepathy, psychometry, clairvoyance, and intuition. The senses, let me stop there. I said I'll take it slow, so there's no need. The first episode of season 4 of Stranger Things, for everybody who actually tuned in to Ancient Mystic Order of Melchizedek show, one of the exercises to heighten your clairvoyance is to get with someone and have them write something down on a sheet of paper, and you strive to figure out what they wrote on that sheet of paper. They show you that in season 4, episode 1 of Stranger Things, when the doctor had a little boy hooked up to a machine to his brain, and he drew a picture of the sun. And the boy had to figure out what it was. So he was actually testing his clairvoyance right there. So that helps. So don't forget, and anybody that messed with us, tune in to the Ancient Mystic Order of Melchizedek. See lesson 1, study 2. That was Thursday, the just past show. All right, so the removal of the barytheric gland removed the 4 higher senses, which were telepathy, psychometry, clairvoyance, and intuition. The senses are necessary for your random access through the boundless universe, and they have trapped you in a state of cause and effect. What he's talking about here is your lower senses: see, hear, touch, smell, and feel. See, hear, touch. No, yeah. See, did I miss something? See, hear, taste, yeah. So that's your lower senses. The senses are necessary, your higher senses now, telepathy, psychometry, clairvoyance, and intuition. Those senses are necessary for your random access through the boundless universe. And they have trapped you in a state of cause and effect. To and fro, up and down, good and bad. In the world of cause and effect, the world of light. You were made human, given the lesser knowledge which controls you. When things are being thoroughly investigated, the knowledge becomes complete. Their knowledge being complete has made their thoughts sincere, their hearts being rectified, and their self is being cultivated. With their self being cultivated, their families were regulated. Their states were rightly governed. The whole kingdom was made tranquil and happy. It is necessary for you to understand the spiritual realm and the world of darkness, in which you would be using all your 7 senses, thereby rendering you an Elohim, then even higher on to your 9 senses, rendering you an etheric being, which is the true world of causes. And we talked about the extra 7 to the 9 senses last Saturday. I'm not going into that. But rendering you an etheric being, okay? Once you go into even higher onto your 9 senses, rendering you an etheric being, which is the true world of causes. It's the cause that actually causes the effect, not the cause and the effect. The things of the world and its inhabitants are subject to change. There are combinations of elements that existed before, and all living creatures are what their past actions made them. For the law of cause and effect is uniform and without exception. This is key. There are combinations of elements that existed before, and all living creatures are what their past actions made them. For the law of cause and effect is uniform and without exception. One second. Got something in my teeth. Okay. The 7 descending planes. All right. We always talk about the 7 descending planes, so everybody strive to keep up, because he's going to do one at a time and then drift off and then get back into the 2nd plane, 3rd plane, 4th plane, and all the way down to the 1st plane. So, the 7 descending planes being Kanun, the potter, the Ab, heart of Anu Elo, the source, who is Elunel of the abode called Lahut. That's the 7th plane, ascending. Descending, starting from 7, is still the plane Lahut, the abode called Lahut. 7 to the 7, power of 7. 7 heavens is what most people are familiar with, the 7 heavens. So, from which the name El Elo, which is the appointed by El Kalun, the all, from which all originated. The source of the divine reality. That is the 6th plane, the spark of life. So you got the 7th plane, Lahut. 6th plane, the source of divine reality, or what is called the spark of life. Life is the time you spend in your cot, your body on earth, or on other planets. From the moment of conception, between the sperm and the ovum, there is life and light, divine or otherwise, prior to fertilization. I'll do that again. From the moment of conception, between the sperm and the ovum, there is life and light, divine or otherwise, prior to fertilization. There was light and life prior to fertilization. There was a 3-month preparation inside of the female and the male in darkness. This is actually the first 3 months of life of the human being. Once the egg is fertilized by the male sperm, so they say, the child is already in the 4th month of life. So you got it? So you already is life 3 months prior to a male and a female having sex, and then boom, the sperm, what they say, fertilizes the egg. That is your 4th month. So the child is already in the 4th month of life. So a woman really carries a child for 12 months and not the 9 months as you have been falsely led to believe. The source of divine truth, that's the 5th plane descending, okay? Divine truth. The source of divine truth, or the guardians, or Anunnaki. All right? The 4th plane is the source of the mental plane. That's the 4th plane. The 3rd plane is the plane of Ak, or spirit, and Ba, soul, where thoughts are formed. The source of the spiritual plane, that's your 3rd plane, where the emotions are manifested. The source of the plane of force, that's your 2nd plane, and that's all around us, the plane of force. That laws of attraction governs that plane of force. So that's the 2nd plane. The source of the plane of force, 2nd plane, that we are descending. The forces between voluntary and involuntary actions, which life substance is manifested, that is the plane of force, 2nd plane. And the material plane is the 1st plane, as you descend from 7 all the way to 1. 7, LAHUH. 6, the plane of divine reality, you descending. 5, the plane of truth. 4, the mental plane. What comes before 4? 3. The 3rd plane is the spiritual plane as we descend. The 2nd plane is the plane of force that is all around us, and as descending. And the 1st plane descending is the material plane, or the physical plane, as some like to call it, or the plane of Nasut. Okay? All right. So we got our planes. Now the source of the material plane, that's the 1st plane as we descend from 7 to 1, it's the governor of cardinal desire, material, not spiritual, like where Anu El Elo, who is Elyon Elunel, to rule over the heavens and the planet Earth, who is called Yaha, or Jahav by the Mizraimites, or those of Cam or Kemet, Egypt. This became Yahweh from Yah equals agreeable, and way equals disagreeable, Yahweh. He is being called the light of the heavens and the earth by those who worship the sun. This was placed in the heart of El Elo, the source, who is called Anu. Now, back to the plane of force. That's the plane that's all around us that governs by the laws of attraction. The plane of force is a plane about which the human mind cannot conceive the knowledge concerning it. For he, El Elo, is the all-knowing and the all-wise, the supreme being. He is El Elo, and you should have no other El Elo with him. Say in your heart, I have faith by way of Anu, as he is, by using all of his names and acknowledging all of his special qualities. Yes, by accepting them in your heart and reciting it with your tongue, thus declaring, I will be faithful to Anu and all of the messengers or Anunnaki of Anu and all of the scriptures and all of those Rasulat sent forth by Anu, who is Anu, for guidance. And in the final day, when all actions will be judged according to whether they be agreeable or disagreeable, all of this comes from Anu, Elyon, Elunel, right up until death. There are 2 lives, life on earth and life after physical death. Death is the door which takes you from one stage in life to the next stage of higher life. If the person was a highly spiritual person, their soul will pass at once through to the planes, or even bypass the planes and go into heavens or other galaxies from where their soul and ether being originated with the help of the elder Anunnaki, the Igigi, the heavenly host, or 24 elders who sit around the throne called HAAYUH. You should not weep at natural death, but rejoice and welcome the presence of the Elohim. The Anunnaki bless you with old age, which allows the physical body to rest from the harmful activities that we indulge in every day. Old age prepares humans for their inevitable judgment. So escape not from the possibilities of becoming elderly, for it is an honored gift that everyone receives. You may weep for murdered victims or accidents or illness and life cut off before old age. You can weep for the pain they felt, but not for the transferred from this world to the next. You cannot take from the all, and you cannot add to the all. The all merely shares, and you become. The plane of divine reality, that is the second plane, descending down, or the sixth plane descending down. The plane of divine reality is the mental spark, the true essence of being. The light of the life in human beings, a divine spark, reflected spark from Anu Elunel, the Most High, the highest, manifesting itself as effect, EFFECT. Light disturbed the supreme balancement of darkness, and he created individualism, or a focal point, which manifests there as opposed to here. This spark is in each individual, making them a supreme being onto beings known as Alahumat or Anunnaki, then on to HAAYUH, M-I-M, human beings, on to human beings, on to human, on to men or gender, on to mammal, on to beast-like man, on to beast, on to demon. The disagreeable Anunnaki Garubat can incarnate on behalf of man and the beast man, having both male and female gender. So be very mindful how low you dropped, because they can only incarnate into your being if you drop to a gender, man or woman, and drop to the beast man, Behemoth, the human beast. And they can personify in both male and female gender, the Garubat. Now, for in the spirit of Kadmon, the son of Atum and his wife Lilith, and Nekeba, daughter of Ptah, and his wife Anath, are one being. Thus, you, Kadmon, are Nekeba, and you, Nekeba, are Kadmon. Male and female created he them in Genesis. And he also called their name Adam. It is on this plane where the mental spark is formed, the shell of the spiritual body of Kadmon, who is the ruler of Nasut, that's the material plane on the physical plane, the abode of the Enocytes. Let's do it again. It is on this plane where the mental spark is formed, the shell of the spiritual body of Kadmon, who is the ruler of Nasut, the abode of the Enocytes, that is the physical plane, a spark of divine consciousness, leading to the development of the human soul, being in the likeness of the Anunnaki and Anu, El Elo, the Most High glorified and exalted, light, the Most High glorified and exalted light as a child of the Elohim, that's Genesis, in my image and after my likeness, or in our image and after our likeness. Being in the likeness of the Anunnaki and Anu, El Elo, the Most High, that's the us, glorified and exalted light as a child of the Elohim. The spark of consciousness, the mental spark that radiates a part of itself to the planes below it. Mind you, we are in plane 6. The plane of divine reality, or what they call the divine spark. The 6th plane descending. It don't matter. The mental spark that radiates a part of itself to the planes below it. It projects down to the spiritual plane and forms what you call the soul. That's why I said when you get to the top of the spiritual plane, at the very top of the spiritual plane, 7 to the 7, power of 7 on the spiritual plane, that's where you lose the soul at. So I'll listen to it again. The mental spark that radiates a part of itself to the planes below it, it projects down to the spiritual plane and forms what you call the soul. So your mission is to get the soul to the top of the spiritual plane. That is where it was formed. That's where it wants to go back to. The top, 7 to the 7 plane, 7 power of 7 on the spiritual plane. It is the light of Anu, El Elo, most glorified and exalted, becoming life, okay? The soul, S-O-L, the soul, Laplets, that light in you, that is your soul. It is nothing, it's not your spirit, it is your soul, that light. Got it? That's what it's saying here. So it is the light of Anu, El Elo, most glorified and exalted, becoming life. The spiritual body, follow me closely, the spiritual body or ethereal you is the shell of the soul. The spiritual body will be visible as ethereal form to those close to the deceased, okay? The spiritual body will be visible as ethereal form to those close to the deceased. This is the spirit together with the 2.5 of soul and the breath of life. It's the last thing to leave the body following the soul. It's the breath of life. I think it's about 3 days before the wind leaves the body. The spirit then becomes drowsy and sinks into the preliminary sleep of the spiritual plane. The spiritual body houses the soul of the spiritual etheric plane. Let's do that again. Anybody follow me on the page? Let's go up to 130, the verse. The spiritual body or ethereal you is the shell of the soul. The spiritual body will be visible as ethereal form to those close to the deceased. This is the spirit together with the 2.5 soul and the breath of life. It's the last thing to leave the body, following the soul. The spirit then becomes drowsy, sinks into a preliminary sleep of the spiritual plane. The spiritual plane houses the soul of the spiritual etheric plane. Got it? The spiritual body houses the soul of the spiritual etheric plane. That's where it's located. The spiritual body houses the soul of the spiritual etheric plane. When the breath of life ceases to exist in human beings, the ethereal cord and the spiritual body is cut. This allows the person to live an extended and independent ethereal life. Much like when a baby is born, the umbilical cord is cut from the mother, which he or she once depended upon. The baby comes out and begins a whole new life. So the soul is greater than life because when life is no more, the soul remains forever in that which the being, the person that's deceased, has done that has affected others his soul, his essence, and he's remembered time. The soul is greater. It gives you your will to live or die in the physical. Thus, the physical life of a soul is 1,000 years in this realm, and the spiritual life of the soul, as the spirit is the shell of the soul, is 43,800 years. But the existence of the soul in the minds of those affected is eternity. Let's do that again. 142. The soul is greater than life, because when life is no more, the soul remains forever in that which the being has done that has affected others. His soul, his essence, his soul is his essence, and he's remembered time. The soul is greater. It gives you your will to live or die in the physical. Thus, the physical life of the soul is 1,000 years in this realm. And the spiritual life of the soul, as the spirit is the shell of the soul, is 43,800 years. But the existence of the soul in the minds of those affected is eternity. When a person dies, the soul and the breath of life is the last thing to leave the physical body. Then, being the human should live to 120 earth years and 1,000 as nature and a part of nature on the plane of force, which is the breath of life. His existence goes on to complete the cycle of existence until he or she is remembered no more. Anu is remembered. Hambaba is forgotten. This soul is attracted by bacteria, and a form is shaped around it, which is a body that is formed by the hand of the Anunnaki, the Most High glorified exalted ones, the benevolent ones. All right, so this soul is attracted by bacteria, and a form is shaped around it, which is a body that is formed by the hand of the Anunnaki, the most glorified and exalted ones, the benevolent ones. On the arms of Enki, Israel, the angelic being of death, son of Anu and Id, built on the atoms, ATOMS, of the physical plane. It manifests as a mortal, body and spirit, giving birth to a soul or a living soul. The body, the spirit, the living soul is the successor of the earthly plane. A son of the Anunnaki, Kadmon. You were born of the will of Anu El Elo, a living soul. The mental sparks all connected through the spiritual umbilical cord called the etheric cord. Now, we get into the planes once again. The plane of divine truth. The plane of divine truth is of spiritual perfection and attainment, a plane exempt from all cardinal desires, supreme spiritual bliss. It is the level of consciousness, which is of the daily expression of those you call the ranks of angelic beings. Kohen, Zodok priests, the 23 elders, listed as Katrael, Anafiel, Asbuga, Bariuel, Kimuel, Kayiel, Galgaliel, Haniel, Ufiel, Uhuel, Matarun, Raguel, Quadison, Raduriel, Razuel, Rikibiel, Mahaya, Shamuel, Yanan, Saruel, Yafafia, Zagzaguel, Sandofun. And the 24th seat Those are 23 elders. But the 24th seat is open to all the news bearers. And the 25th seat is the one of the 24 who takes the seat of overseer, as the 19th becomes the 25th, and the renewal of history as Yanun becomes Melchizedek, which takes place every equinox. When Yanun personified in the year 1970 AD into Isa el-Hadi al-Mahdi, called then Imam Isa, and he descended on the earth plane, or the planet Earth, he took the place of the 25th seat, and another Anunnaki was placed in the 19th seat. The nearness to the heart of Anu, El Elo, most glorified and exalted, it is the school of the Anunnaki of the green light, from where they have the ability to personify as 12 by 12. And it is here that one is translated from a mental state into that divine state. The mental plane is the plane of the chosen. Rejoice at the glad tidings. The chosen one, our master, has found the root of all evil, disagreeableness. He has shown us the way of salvation. Nuwapu, sound right reasoning, baby. The chosen one dispels the illusions of our mind, and he breaks the spell of Kingu and redeem us from the fears of death. The chosen one, our master, brings comfort to the weary and sorrow-laden. He restores peace to those who are broken down under the burden of this life. He gives courage to the weak when they are at times end and they are ready to give up self-reliance. And they hope the chosen one has proclaimed the truth. Nuwapu. Yeah. Let the truth of the chosen one dwell in your hearts, extinguishing yourselves every desire that antagonizes the chosen one. And in the perfection of your spiritual growth, you will become like him. Those of you here which cannot and will not develop into the chosen one must perish, for it is the source of your error. It is the cause of your misery. It is those of you who, through flashes of intuitive illumination from a higher source, have the ability to perceive that which the ordinary human perceives not. The chosen one, or the chosen, is that one who finds his or her normal consciousness level, expressing a bright light from within the inner sun at the seat of the solar plex. This plane is the midway plane between the human being and the supreme being, where all of those of the ancient and mystic order of Melchizedek spiritually meet, where they adorn their crimson to black crown, and you listen to hear the tassel bell of happiness sound, where their heart is wrapped with the noble sash, a token of authority, dignity, power, honor, and reward, worn as a symbol of glory and remembrance of the great path. As they raised in height from degree to degree, 720 is what they will be. 360 master the physical, and all 360 opens. Wait, let's do it again. 360 master the physical, and all 360 opens the way to the spiritual hall. 27, 9 to the 9th power of 9. At this point, you become master over space and time, knowing no depth and no height, and you are raised from the darkness of ignorance to the intellectual light, which endures all temptation when he is tried, a crown that is his own, the jacket with the wings of an angel is worn. Thus you have your inner pyramid. Pyra means the fire, mid means the center. The nose on the face inhales the oxygen that ignites the sun in the middle of your chest where the lotus breastplate rests. And the son of the Anunnaki, most glorified and exalted ones, Malakut, which is ruled by Malachi Zodak, plane of divine love, a compassion not yet comprehended by human beings, but it will be, of which earthly love is only a reflection, a compassion that's realized not only the self, but expresses a compassion which encompasses all. Okay? We're about to get into the true light. This needs no explanation. 693. I'm going to just open up my book just in case. The true light. Make sure I got it. Yeah, 693. The true light. 694, 695, 696, 697, 698, 699. Okay. The true light. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you or the ak or nafus, the spirit. Again, the skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you or ak or nafus or the spirit. You identify with the self as spirit, which is your emotional self. So in the lower part of the mental force field, the lower part now, the spirit forms the khat, or the physical body, as the lower aspect of itself. And it builds the home of the ba. It builds the home of the RAWUH, the living soul. Let's go up again. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you, or spirit. In the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the khat, the physical body, as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the living soul. One more time. The skin of the soul is the force field of the mental substance manifested as the you, or the spirit, the nafus, or the ak. In the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the khat, the physical body, as the lower aspect of itself. From there, it builds the home of the soul, the ba, the RAWUH, the living soul. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form, the ba, the RAWUH, the soul. And the spiritual life determines the form of the body. You got it? The spiritual life determines the form of the body. Got it? What body? What body? Let's do it again. The spiritual life determines the form of the body. Let's do it again. Let's go back up. 205. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you, or ak, or nafus, spirit. One more time. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you, spirit, or spirit. In the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the khat, the physical body. That's the khat. That's the physical body, J1. The spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the living soul. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form. Let's do it again. Do it again, J1. The spiritual, let's go back up, 205. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance. Got it? The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the spirit, the you. In the lower part of the mental force field, all right, so just think, must be the upper part of the mental force field. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you. The lower part of the mental force field, okay? The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance. In the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the living soul. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form. Can you dance with it? The spiritual, oh, let's do it again. Let's do it one more time. Back up to 205. The skin of the soul, we got to visualize to pull this shit out. The skin of the soul, meaning the soul has skin, right? Got it? The soul has skin. So the skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you or spirit. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you or the spirit. The lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the living soul. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form, the ba, the soul. And the spiritual life determines the form of the body. The light of the soul, as it perspires through the spiritual skin, this is called the true light, a result from the light or sun that burns within your solar plexus. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, boo. One more again. Got it? One more again before we get into these subplanes. Let's take it slow. The true light, 693. The skin of the soul. Your soul has skin. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifest as the you or spirit. In the lower part of the mental force field, the skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance. In the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the living soul. The physical form then is built around the lower aspects of the spiritual form, the soul. And the spiritual life determines the form of the body. The spiritual life determines the form of the body. Let's do it again. One more time, J1. Want to do it one more time? Let's do it again. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you or the spirit, okay? The skin of the soul is the force field of the mental substance. In the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the soul. The physical form then is built around the lower aspects of the spiritual form, the soul. And the spiritual life determines the form of the body. Sadia. Great day, Sadia. Sadia said, I think I got it. Okay. I know I got 205 and 206. Let's do it again. I have to draw this shit out. Let me get a sheet of paper in order to understand this shit. Because to read it and not be visual is difficult. Let me get me a sheet of paper and do this shit with a sheet of paper. Okay, that's why you got it, because you was drawing it. Okay, all right, yeah. Let me, because I'm reading it and I'm seeing words, but I can't see how it's the drawing of it. Okay, so let's do it again. J1, grab a sheet of paper, baby. Grab a sheet of paper, because we're gonna do it one good time. We're gonna draw it out, and then we'll have a complete understanding. Okay, you ready? Let me know when you got a pen and a sheet of paper, or a pencil or something to write with. Sheet of paper, and then we'll take it again. Take it slow. It's imperative that we get this part. It's very important. Okay, you ready? I'm ready. You okay? Anybody else? Let me check on YouTubers. Damn, I can't even find the chat room. Oh, all right, they sleep somewhere. All right, here we go, after party. All right, here we go. All right, let's take it slow. All right, the skin of the soul. I'm gonna draw. Hold on, let me draw this shit. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance, manifested as the you or spirit. Okay. All right, hold on. Give me a second, y'all, because I got this is a study group like a motherfucker. Skin of soul. The skin of soul is the force field of mental substance. Okay, so we know that the soul has a skin. It's the force field of mental substance. All right, now how am I going to draw some skin of a soul? I'm just going to draw a body and call this the skin of the soul. Outside. No, that's more like the shell. Oh, y'all should see my drawing. All right, so the skin of soul is the force field mental substance. Okay, manifested as the spirit. Okay, it manifests. Manifest means drop low. Okay, it appears, as the spirit or you. In the lower part of the mental force field. Oh, we need to draw a mental force field. Jesus Christ, hold on. Let me draw a mental force field. What does a force field look like? I'm just gonna draw dashes around my little body that I just made, and I'm gonna call that shit the force field of mental substance. Yeah, I'm just gonna draw like light force field. Force field. What do you say? The mental force field. Okay, the mental force field. Okay, the mental force field. All right, so let me draw my skin again. Draw a person. I gotta draw a person. Okay. All right, now. All right, so that's the mental force field. Got it. Okay, so back to 205. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you or the spirit. So all my little dashes around this body is going to be the mental force field, but that is the skin of the soul, of the spirit. Okay. Now, in the lower part of the mental force field, yep, I got me a little lower part. Let me put an arrow there called the lower part. Lower part of the mental force field. All right. The spirit forms the cot, the physical body. So what we're going to do now, the spirit forms the cot, the physical body, as the lower aspects of itself. So I get it. This is not your physical body yet. This ain't your dirt body, J1. Okay? The spirit has a body. The soul has a body. Got it? And in the body of each of them is the light or the spirit itself. You got it? Does it make sense? J1? So this is this is the spirit you call yourself, but the spirit also has a body. Let me show you. Let me grab the mind book real quick. I have to find it in the mind book, even though the mind book is the Living Soul chapter, but I can find it faster. Well, maybe not find it faster, but yeah, it's easy to find because that's when he says the house or whatever, the house or blah, blah, blah. Good actions, mortals, vows, progress. Wait a minute, I'm going to get to it. Overstanding, listening, reactivation, take place. The mind, greedy, backbiting, Tiamat, the physical plane, spiritual, the only purpose, physical body's death is blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's the end. Nope, that was not. Okay, here we go. Right here on page 133 of the mind book. Earthly existence. The physical body, the astral body, the causal body, his or her tomb. The physical body is the sheath. Maybe I should have just did the physical body first. Yeah. Maybe I got to do it in reverse. Draw the physical body first. And inside of it all and outside of it is all that mental stuff. That's where I fucked up at. Let's go from physical. Let's go from material first, then ethereal. If anybody having trouble drawing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's draw the physical body first. Okay? Yeah, we got to draw the physical body first, goddamn. It'll make sense then, won't it, J1? Oh, I'm so glad you're with me on this. All right, let me draw physical human being. All right, we got to draw the physical body first. That makes a little bit better. That'll start to make a hell of a lot more sense for my head. All right. I got one retarded arm, but he'll be all right. Oh, this nigga here is so fucked up. This is a retarded person I done drew. Okay, so we're gonna make this motherfucker the shell of it all, the flesh of it all, the shell. Okay? Now, let's see. The astral body, the causal body, his or her tomb. The physical body is called the food, the sheath. For it is composed of what is eaten, and at the end of life, blah, blah, blah. The astral body is composed of the vital sheath, which contains all the energy. The mental sheath, which contains all emotions and desires. The intellectual sheath, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all right. So, yeah. Okay, yeah, because it's a shell, within a shell, within a shell, within a shell. Okay, yeah, it's a shell within a shell, within a shell, within a shell. So, now, okay, so basically what he's talking about here on page 293 is just the spirit and the soul. That's it, nothing else. And the body that houses the spirit and the body that houses the soul. He's not talking about the flesh. This is not the flesh, okay? Everybody clear? So, Sadia, this is not the flesh. This is not the physical body, the one you call, you got skin, the soul has skin to cover it, the oversoul as what they would like to call it, the shell of the soul. So, let's not, for me and J1, let's not think of our flesh, our body in this thing. in trying to understand the true light. Okay? Let's not think of body. Got it? Let's just only think of the soul. So we'll make this person, we'll turn this figure that we just drew, meaning the skin of the soul. We got to make it a person in order to see this shit. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the spirit. Okay? The lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself. And it builds the home of the what? Of the soul, right? So outside in our little figure, I see y'all, Newbie and Zena. Hold on, give me a second, because I'm really trying to learn something. I'm gonna open your mics, but I'm not gonna be able to hear y'all because I ain't got my earpiece in. Okay, let's do it again. All right, so the body, right, J1, this is gonna be the skin of the soul, that outer body we just drew. Okay, it's not the physical body. It's not what is considered physical, Newbie. Okay. It's not what's considered physical. Okay. Listen, the physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form. It's called the soul, the soul. Got it? So this is not physical like you call your butt, ass, booty, lips, mouth, and shit like that. It's not. It's just going to manifest as physical, but it's not physical, like hands and feet and shit. Because it says, the soul. So let me and J1 get this with no man interference. Let us figure this thing out properly. Okay, so J1, we got the outside of, we're going to call that shit the skin. Because we are only dealing with the skin of the soul, is the force field of the mental substance manifested as the you or spirit. So that little man we made, let's make that the outside of the skin of the soul. From there, the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the cot or the physical body as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the living soul. Got it? So inside the spirit forms the cot, the physical body, as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the body. Because what we just did, right, when we drew it, J1, that the outline of it would be the skin. Got it? But the whole body, we're making it a person though, but the whole body is, the spirit forms the physical body as the lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the living soul. So the spirit is now building the home of the living soul. So inside our little man is, which is the spirit or the skin of the soul, is basically where the soul is housed. So all of this inside that man, inside the outline is the soul. Okay? The outline itself is the skin of the soul. Inside of it is the soul. Okay? Can you see it now? Does that make a little bit better sense? All right. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form, the soul. And the spiritual life determines the form of the body. The light of the soul, as it perspires through the spiritual skin, there's the skin again, okay? So this is how people can see our light in a sense. So the light of the soul, as it perspires through the spiritual skin, is called the true light. So what we're going to do on our little outline is draw little lines going outside that bitch, and we're going to call that shit the true light. That's the light that perspires Light. True light. That's the light that perspires outside. Okay, you got little dots. I just got little lines, out of the spiritual skin, though. It comes out of the spiritual skin. That light. It's just, the light of the soul. The light comes out of the spiritual. Yeah, okay, like me use a dot. Fine. Okay, so that's the true light, okay? And it's called the true light, a result from the light or sun that burns within your solar plex. It is the dictionary of your emotion, the mental plane. So now, J1, now all our millions of dots that you put as light, now we draw the physical body around the whole body. Got it? Now we draw the material body. All right, because what we did was we drew the soul, the skin of the soul, and the spirit, and the spiritual body that houses the soul inside of that. So now, with all that little light coming out around it, boo, girl, you know I'm good. I got to be visual with you. So now, we got to take all that light and put it inside the physical body. So now we draw a huger body around, which is the self, which is the eyes, nose, hands, titties, dick, pussy, whatever, to house this other inside being that's inside of us, the light being. That's what it's called, the whole light being that's inside of us. So now we draw us, housing it all with bacteria called earth body. God damn it. Now, ladies, can you see this shit? That's the real self inside that motherfucker. Inside, that wouldn't look like inside of boo. All right, now I'm gonna open up the call lines, and then after that we're gonna. Oh, let me read this last. Okay, wait. Let's go back to 205, and now we can see it. Right now we can see it because we know that the physical cot of earth, you know what I'm saying, the dirt forms the body, right? So we know that, but there's a spiritual body and there's a oversoul for that and a shell for the soul and all of that. So now we got it, right? Okay, so let's go back to 205, and then we're going to stop at subplanes, and then I'm going to bring in Nubi and what's her name, and Zena. All right, so let's read it again and take a look at our picture now, okay? So the skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance manifested as the you or spirit, okay? In the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the Khat, physical body, as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the Ba, RAWUH, living soul. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form, the soul. The spiritual form is called the soul. And the spiritual life determines the form of the body. Okay? So if we look again at our body, okay? Remember what it say, the spiritual life determines the form of the body. The light, L-I-G-H-T, of the soul as it perspires through the spiritual skin, this is called the true light. That's our million dots. A result from the light or sun that burns within your solar plexus. It is the dictionary of your emotions. The mental plane is the plane where spirits or soul are outgrown or thoughts take form. And we'll get into that in 12 seconds. 12 first. Nubi, Zena, give me a mic check. Thank y'all for holding, man, because I was trying to stay focused on this. Great day. Can I get a mic check, Zena?
How you doing?
Great day, Nubi. Great day, Zena.
Great day, John.
Zena, you want to add your mic? Are you in yet? You want to add your other mic into the show?
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, just in case.
Okay.
But You have a great day. How y'all doing? How you doing, newbie?
I'm doing my best, Don. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Started the show early because I want to go through this Living Soul. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So my question is, when does this happen in the womb?
It happens on the plane of divine reality, the spark of light or life. That's where it happens at. Right there. It starts there.
So this happens in the womb as well?
No, this ain't the flesh yet. This ain't the womb. This ain't the female body yet. This ain't it. This is on, God damn, newbie, where the fuck? I hate to repeat this shit. This is on the plane, the sixth plane, the spark of life. You were already living. That's the spark of life. That's how the soul travels down the material plane, travel to the material plane, and boom, it how do you call it? It in inception and from conception it's already inside of the body through the etheric cord. Once the cord is connected, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And now the soul and the spirit is inside the being or the animal or the human, whatever you want to call it, or the rock. It could be anything. But the soul always travels anyway. It needs a body. So, boom, it needs a physical body if it's going to, enjoy the earthly sojourn. It takes on the physical body. But it starts in the divine plane, sweetheart, the divine plane of reality. That's the sixth plane, if I'm not mistaken. The spark. I'm not going backwards on that. So you got to find the it's in like the second page of first tablet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because then
because I was reading 207 and it says the spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself.
Listen, he's talking about the body for the soul, sweetheart. The body for the soul. Only reason why I know that this is what he's talking about, because in all the books and some of the stuff, you will find him speak about how the spirit has a shell, the soul has a shell, and your physical body houses all of it. And outside of it is a whole nother shell. Outside of you yourself, this outside self. It's a whole nother shell. He call it an energy field or some shit, energy sphere or some old shit. So it's even a shell around our outer body. It's like you ever heard him say over soul or shell over the soul, over the spirit?
Right, that's what I thought the spirit was. I thought the spirit was a shell of the soul.
Okay, all right, good.
That was my understanding.
Right, good for thinking that. But in this one here, the skin of the soul is the force field. Manifest.
So that's not the spirit.
As the spirit.
That's between the spirit and the soul.
Right. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance. Mental substance manifested as the spirit. Okay? So that's why we drew our image, so we can understand this shit. I don't want to go back to it. You need to draw it. You need to read it on your own and then draw it. Draw the skin. Draw the skin of the soul. Okay. Manifested as the spirit.
I'll do my own research.
So that means what? That means that the soul has skin. So we are not talking about your knees, your stomach, your outer shell. We're talking about the soul shell, the spirit forming the soul, making the skin of it. That is what we're talking about. When it's saying physical, it's not saying your body yet. That's why we drew the picture.
I understand that, but it's why. So that word physical is misleading, Don.
Well, to you, it's misleading because again, if I go right back to the sheath, which is nothing more than the body, right? If we go back to the mind book, the sheath, everything is a sheath. It's called, that means body, right?
Okay.
Right? Sheath means body. SHEATH. Let me find it.
I know what a sheath is. Yes.
Okay, but go to your mind book. Go to your mind book.
Here it is, right here.
Okay, so page 133. Every person has three bodies, okay? Physical body, astral body, and causal body. Body. The physical body is the sheath. At the end, life returns. Okay, the astral body. So there's another body. It's the vital sheath. Okay, the vital body. The mental sheath. The mental body. The intellectual body. The causal body. The astral body. All sheath. The physical body is the vehicle of the astral and causal bodies. So, what we did in order to get a better understanding of the true light, that part is we created the skin of the soul, then we created the body for the soul, and then we did the spirit outside of the soul, and then we drew the physical body like a person housing it all. That's how we were able to actually see this for what it is. You know what I'm saying? So then we drew it in the light that came out of the skin, the light of the soul as it perspires through the spiritual skin. Got it? So we know that the spiritual skin is what he meant by physical. If you draw it, you will see it. You know what I'm saying? So we had to literally physically draw the skin of the soul and the light that perspires through the spiritual skin. Then we drew the whole body of the earth being, the earth suit, the earth body. That's the only way how we were able to see it, newbie. I don't know if I helped you with that, but it'll all make sense if you draw it. You know what I'm saying? So you can understand it. So the word physical, just like the word skin, I guess, is not misleading to some, because we end up getting it. So we drew the light body first. We drew the soul and the light body first. You know what I'm saying? We drew that first. These are bodies. And newbie, if you look at it, the spiritual plane and the physical plane are interwoven in a sense, right? So that means even the spiritual plane will create what is called a physical spiritual body because they interwoven, but it all takes place on the at the top of the spiritual plane where the mental plane interwoven with it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so it just takes a minute to see, to actually you got to visualize it or draw it in order to see it. Because that comma is there. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form, the soul. Got it?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do my homework.
And the spiritual life determines the form of the body. 209, the physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form, the soul. The spiritual form, the soul. The spiritual life determines the form of the body. The light of the soul, the body is talking about is the soul. The light of the soul as it perspires through the spiritual skin. It takes us right back to verse 205. The skin of the soul is the force field of mental substance. The light of the body, 212, the light of the body as it perspires through the spiritual skin is called the true light. Boom. Spiritual skin. The Ba, aspects of the spiritual form, the Ba, 209. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form, the soul. And the spiritual life determines the form of the body. That's why we have to be spiritual. It's not based on the physical shell, the physical earth shell. It's based on the physical shell that's housing the soul, which is the spiritual shell. That's why we go inward, because it's still physical yet. Isn't the shell still physical? Not your body, not the body that you point at your chest. Inside of it, is it not still physical?
It should be if it's encasing something, yes.
It's still physical. So that's a physical body inside of us. It's just made of mental substance. This is why he's going to give us our ultra gases, all the different ethers, and what secretes it. This is how it works. This is how the connection is made from that thing that we drew that our physical body houses, is how the liquid ether can get into the being. How it's connected. The spiritual umbilical cord or the etheric cord is connected to that inner being that's inside of us. Zena, can I get a mic check? Okay, you in? I'm going to open up that Zena mic, so you might want to check and make sure that it's muted. Zena, if you're still there. Okay. Great day, Zena.
Great day.
All right. Y'all ready to continue? Y'all ready to?
Yeah, I got to do some more homework on my own though, Don.
Okay. Well, when you do it, make sure you draw the spirit in the soul body first, and then once you finish, draw that physical body that you call that appears to be misleading later. We got to look at this inner being first. That's what he's only focused on. You can draw the physical shell later, but that's how we were able to get it, to see. We are talking about that. Thank you, Neff. Thank you, J1. Come on, Zena.
Quick question. What do you travel in once you lose the spirit and the soul? What are you traveling in?
Mind. M-I-N-D. You become a mental being. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm listening because I didn't. Yeah, nothing. I got another question, but I'm gonna just listen for a sec. Keep listening.
Well, you can ask your question because once I move forward, man, my patience is shot today. So
it's all good, man.
So be patient with my patience. Please, I'm like, yeah, my patience is shot. And I did the damn own affirmation. It said if you losing patience or getting depressed and shit, I did that right before the goddamn show. Okay. Just go ahead and let us get the question, because I still want to get through this living soul, because there's still some steps that I want to figure out myself that I want to be able to get. But so we ain't. But in verse 216, we got about 100 more something verses to get past in the living soul. Well, so what's your question? What's your question?
Sorry, you're right. I had to turn down my headset.
Mhm.
Okay. I hope I'm still muted. Okay. Damn, Don. Shit, I'm trying to see how to formulate this question because it's like, what the fuck?
Well, make it a statement. Maybe if you make it a statement.
So I'm just gonna read off what we're reading right now in the tablet, right? So it's talking about the, like Nubi mentioned, physical. It's talking about skin and all of this, right? And I know from reading What and Where is Hell, the copy I got, it mentioned that the body is a fungus to the spirit. And this what we're reading right here is talking about.
No, not to cut you off. Not to cut you off, but I have to. In this part here, I fucking read this shit 15 times before we got the.
You ain't gotta read it no more.
I'm not. That's not why I mentioned why I read it 15 times before. I'm just saying it because I'm pretty sure the motherfuckers that heard me read this shit 15 times before we got the pen and the pencil and the paper.
Let me finish my statement real quick.
You had a statement, and listen, this is the shell, the skin of the soul. Okay, not the body that's a fungus or bacteria. Not that. It's that shit that's in you right now. The light, the whole spiritual being, the spiritual being that houses the soul being. This is the true light in 205 on to 215. Okay? Got it?
Okay, so I hear you. So we do have a spiritual body and a physical body, right?
And you have a soul body. Because the soul
but they're
is
different bodies.
They call it, yes, absolutely.
So
it's called the oversoul. The spirit is basically called the oversoul. If you ever hear him say the oversoul, that is the spirit that's over the soul. So there's a whole nother body that's housing the spirit, the soul inside of what you call your fungus body.
Okay, so what we're reading is basically also, that's why I wanted to finish reading it, trying to say some of these highlighted points, because it sounds as if, and I'd rather read it than try to sum it up what I think I just read. That's where I can just hit those points. But it sounds like what we're reading is this thing is this light is trying to travel out of this spiritual, quote unquote, whatever you said it's called. It's not a body, whatever you said it's called. It's trying to travel out of that to the mental realm, but it has this quote unquote spiritual body, whatever, I don't know what you're calling it. Whatever is holding that back and is trying to travel out of it. That's what I'm reading out of here. So it's some type of form. He's calling it physical and skin and all of this. You're saying that's not what it is. But that's one of the main purposes of that light traveling.
It's a physical form simply because those people can feel it. They can sense it. It's a physical because it's also located on the physical material plane. This thing that is inside of us, this being that's inside of us, the spirit houses the soul. The body houses the spirit and the soul. The light, while they call it the solar plex, is still the soul. That's the light that perspires through the spiritual skin. The skin of the soul manifests as the spirit. Okay? So obviously, the soul, the spirit, it does not have the light. is the skin of the soul that has the light.
According to What and Where Tell, it says the spiritual light that travels. What, you don't want me to read it?
Because we are in the holy tablets.
You was just reading out the mind book and whatever, some other book.
Only for him to understand sheath is body. And to think of body, you automatically think physical. But when he been explaining the body, the oversoul is the oversoul is the spiritual body. The soul is the soul body. The physical is the physical body. It's the sheath. It's the cover. The cover. That's why I did the mind to show newbie, because he's looking at the word physical. How can you get the true light from 205 verse to 215 if you go into another book, Zena? So read 205 to 215 until you get that. You
That's
understand?
what I was trying to do the first time.
No,
right?
no. You said no. That's not what you was trying to do, because you said Listen, you said I'm not going to read it. I'm going to what I think. You said I'm going to summarize what I think is happening in that verse. But have you read 205 yet? Have you read 205 yet?
Don, I started off trying to read it, and I wanted to highlight as I was reading what I was catching. But you didn't. You wanted me to kind of just kind of.
I listened to you. The moment you highlighted it, you went straight to some fungus. Right? You didn't read 205. Zena, you didn't read 205 to 215. Have y'all heard her read 2? Have y'all? Did she read 205 to 215? I didn't cut you off. I said I hate to interrupt you, but you're talking about the fungus body. You referenced this soul or this spirit being a fungus, and I said no, he's talking about the body. But you're still within the What and Where Is Hell book. So Zena, let's not go back and forth. Just go ahead and read 205. Yeah, me either. So let's you read 205 to 215, and then highlight after you read.
Cologne.
All
right. The true light. The skin of the soul is the force field of the mental substance manifested as the you or ak or nafus spirit. In the lower part of the mental force, the spirit forms the kat, physical body, as a lower aspect of itself.
Of the spiritual form. Mm-hmm.
The spirit forms. They don't say it's a spiritual form.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're in 207. I'm sorry. I thought you were in 205. Can you do it again? No. If you got more patience for me, 205.
All right. The skin of the soul is the force field of the mental substance manifested as the you or ak or nafus spirit. In the lower part of the mental force field, the spirit forms the kat, physical body, as a lower aspect of itself. And it builds the home of the RAWUH, living soul. The physical form then is built around the lower aspect of the spiritual form. The RAWUH, soul, and the spiritual life determines the form of the body. The light of the soul as it perspires through the spiritual skin. This is called the true light, a result from the light or sun that burns within your solar plexus. It is the dictionary of your emotions. The mental plane is the plane where spirit or soul are outgrown or thoughts take form.
Okay, you want to highlight?
Yeah, I mean, so we talking about verse 205, we talking about the skin of the soul and how it's the force field of the mental substance. So it has to be something. I know the mental plane, so we talking about the mental plane. I guess you don't need a body for the mental plane. Who's holding this mental? Where is this being held at? In the spiritual form, in a spiritual body? What kind of, what is it? Where is it drawing from? The substance. And
to answer your question, your question, it's on page, it's before page 693.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but you got to do that on your own.
All right. So verse 206. In the lower part of the mental force field, the lower part of the mental force, the spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself. So when we've also read how we're supposed to leave our physical body when we raise up, we leave the physical body. But anyway, so the spirit forms the physical body as a lower aspect of itself, and it builds the home of the RAWUH, living soul. So that soul is inside what was built, a home. It's inside that. It's a home for the living soul. So it's inside something. The physical, so verse 210, it says the RAWUH soul and the spiritual life determines. So the soul and the spiritual life determines the form of the body. Right? And then it said the light of the soul perspires through the spiritual skin. So it's trying to come out. It's perspiring through the spiritual skin. This is called the true light. A result from the light or sun that burns within your solar plexus. I read another book just throwing it in there that the solar plexus is connected to your liver. That's something like that. It's part of the liver. I can pull it up, but I don't want you to open up another book. But anyway, so that's the solar plexus. We know that that definitely has a physical connection to the liver, according to one of his books. So it is the dictionary of your emotions. It is the dictionary of the mental plane is the plane where spirit or soul are outgrown or thoughts take form. So when I read that, I don't, I'm trying to grasp what you're saying, but I guess I'm gonna do like movie, just study on my own. But I'm like, I'm seeing something different.
You have to draw it. You will have to draw it. You have to draw it to see it.
But I want to,
Don't draw.
And I also read. No, I was going to say I also read another book that's also describing this whole situation we read right here, where it reads about the true light, the true lights and how they travel. And they travel through the body. through these different planes and chakras. It's traveling through there. So
That's
this
right.
true light is. So yeah. So I mean, that's why I'm like, what? How is it traveling if it doesn't have a body? What is it traveling in?
Light is always traveling. Light is always moving, right? Okay. So
right,
okay.
But that's why I asked. That's why I asked the question. Once you lose that spirit and that soul, what is it traveling in? That's when you said the mental. And that's what we reading on here, verse 215. It says the mental plane is the plane where the spirit and the soul is outgrowing. So it obviously it's traveling, outgrown what we just got done reading about, because that's why it said the light of the soul, as it perspires through the spiritual skin, is coming out of it, trying to outgrow it, leaving it. So it's leaving it. But that's how it's travels through a body.
People can see you by your light. You understand? So that is the same light is your light body that is around you. That's the light that's perspiring outside of the spiritual skin that's going out of your skin. That is that light. It's called a halo or aura. Okay? That is that light. Now, I just want to say again, for anybody who don't get it, would be befitting of you to draw it out, but don't draw the physical body yet. Draw the skin of the soul, like form that as the outline first, like we did an hour ago. And then follow it through with the, then draw inside of it the soul. Inside of it. Just draw a whole nother, put the soul inside of that skin. Then draw the light perspiring out of the skin of it. Then draw the physical being outside of that. Because that's how you become a threefold being. So you have basically three shells. You have three shells. So I'm just telling everybody else. So that way y'all can see it. You have to draw it out, which is why I guess he always draw out the inner body, the body that's inside the inner body, and then the outer body, and then the light coming from it all, from inside out. That helps. Okay. Zena, Nubi, y'all got anything else? Nope. Okay. All right. So he said page 708. Nubi.
Yeah, that's just a diagram I was just looking at.
The light is the spiritual spinal column that links the chakras that shines in the darkness. Okay, so check it. So you see on 708, Nubi, you see those three outlines outside of the physical body?
The minute I saw the diagram, that's what I was interpreting.
Okay. All right. Right. Okay. Cool. All right, so we're going into the subplanes now. Page 694, so we can get to the seat of Kadmon. But each plane, we did this before too. If some of y'all need to write it down, then draw it out, Each plane is broken up into 7 subplanes, which is broken up into 7 subplanes down to the 7th degree of 7. All right, we're going to take it slow on this one, too. So the simple fact is that based on your vibration, to answer somebody's question, based on your level of vibration, planes is nothing but vibration or density levels. You understand? Levels of vibration. The more you speed up your vibration is where you start to travel the planes, okay, the planes of existence. The more you speed that shit up. So what that means, based off of what Zena mentioned, it seems like, well, to drop the soul and the spirit off. When you get to the higher 7 subplane, that is where that's where your soul wants to go. It's a page right before that in the L's Holy Tablet, Zena, where it actually says that that your soul is formed in between that of the mental plane and the top of the spiritual plane, if that helps. That's why it wants to go back up there. So the lower your vibration or the more dense you are, you know what I'm saying, you got to go higher so you can get the spirit or the soul back up to the top where it came from. The subplanes, each plane is broken up into 7 subplanes, which is broken up into 7 subplanes down to the 7th degree of 7. The 4th subplane of the spiritual plane is the battleground for the mind of human beings. This is where an external and internal struggle goes on between his higher and lower mind. And emotions are formed, vibrating on their own selfish frequency. That is the 4th subplane of the spiritual plane. So even if you just draw, y'all still got your pen and paper out? Even if we're going to call this plane the spirit, even if you just draw, let's just hypothetically pretend that you draw, this is how I did it anyway to overstand it. So you're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're going to draw, you're going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're going to do it again because it's 7 to the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All underneath each other. That way y'all will be able to at least try to have a visual of these planes. 7 subplanes. I should have went up. Matter of fact, descend them too. So go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4. 4 always gonna meet. 3, 2, 1. Right next to the lines the numbers that you wrote already. Then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So let's just say we're. All right. So we're the 4th subplane of the spiritual plane. All right. Now in this plane, what we're gonna try to do is draw a huge circle, and we're gonna call that the spiritual plane around those 1 through 7, 1 through 7, 1 through 7, and 1 going up to 7, 1 going up to 7. We're gonna call that the spiritual plane. And the mental plane exists kind of like interwoven within the spiritual plane, and of course the physical plane. On the 4th subplane of the spiritual plane, now we only focus on the spiritual plane, but on the 4th subplane. Now, wild enough as it is, we don't know if it's the 4th subplane of the subplane, the subplane, or the mid subplane, or the higher subplane. So let's just assume it has to be where the mind meets. So it is the 4th. Every 4th plane, okay, if y'all drew it out like I did, every 4th plane, that is all mental, okay? Got it? The 4th plane. 1 through 3, 4, mental. 1, 2, 3, 4 going up in the middle subplane, mental. 1, 2, 3, 4 going up in the higher subplane, the 4th. That is all mental. Even though the the mental plane itself is interwoven with the spiritual plane. I hope y'all can see it. If you wrote it the way I wrote it. The way I wrote it was, I did 1 through 7 going down and put 7 next to 1, 6 next to 2, 5 next to 3, 4 gonna meet 4, 3 and 5, 2 and 6 and 1. And I did it 3 times because it's 7 to the 7 power of 7. So that's your 7 planes, 7, 7, 7, 1 above each plane. And I did it as descending and ascending numbers next to each other, if anybody could see it. It's the only way. You got to be vivid to see it. So the 4, you notice if you did it right, 4 gonna always meet. That is where the mind is, okay? All right, you can also look at this spiritual plane as the physical plane. You can also look at the the spiritual plane that we assuming is the spiritual plane that we drew. You can also look at that as the plane of force as well, because the plane of force is all around us. And now, you can also see it as the mental plane. Doesn't fucking matter. Because the mental plane is interwoven in the spiritual, in the mental, and also around the plane of force. So that's where your 4 meets. The 4th subplane of the spiritual plane is the battleground for the mind, see? So every 4th plane of the 7 to the 7 power of 7 spiritual plane is the battle of the mind. It's the battleground for the mind of human beings. Got it? Every time you reach the 4th mental plane, it's also where you do battle. The struggle, or this is where an external and internal struggle goes on between his what? Higher mind and lower mind, okay? So if you look at the bottom, that's the physical plane. I mean, that's the 2 4s at the bottom of the 7. That's the lower. And the mid-plane, I call it the mid-plane, make it better, the battleground. So even if you at the top of the spiritual plane where you see 4 4 at, it's still a battleground. Where the plane lower on the mental plane still is the battleground. So you're still battling that lower mind in the mid-subplane of the 7, of the spiritual plane. No matter what, you still battling on the 4th plane. The 4th subplane is still a goddamn battle, because the mental battle, let's say the 2nd layer of the 2nd subplane, if you drew it out, and the top of the plane, the subplane, the top 1 through 7 and 7 down to 1, that 4 is there. That mind is trying to battle the lower mind in the mid-plane. If you make it to the middle subplane, you will see that the 4th plane beneath it on the subplane level is still trying to battle. The higher mind battles the lower mind. So even if you make it up to the top, longest J1, thank you, baby. Even if you make it at the top, if you drew it right, like I drew the 3 layers, the 7 layers, the 7 planes, even if you make it to the 4th at the top, that's your higher mind still is going to try to is battling the lower mind. The mission is to prevent your ass from getting all the way up to the mental fucking plane. Okay? That's why. That's what it is. That's that shit. And it is the spiritual plane where the 4s are meeting at. You understand? Whether you ascending or descending, the 4th subplane in each of these subplanes is the mental. Okay? All right. So, yeah. Mental intuition. All right. Now we about to dance on mental intuition. So we probably need another sheet of paper for this one, because he's got to go into the 3 subplanes or the realms of your subconscious. So now you have 3 subplanes, okay, of your subconscious. So you might as well go draw a circle, interwoven another circle with that, and interwoven another circle with that. And we're going to call that your subconscious, because you got to be able to see this shit. All right, that's your subconscious. The 3 subplanes are the realms of your subconscious. And the upper 3 subplanes are the realms of your mental intuition. So what we got to do now, J1, we got to draw what? 3 more fucking subplanes, okay, above the sub. That's why it's called a subconscious beneath. So we got to go 1, draw 3 more interwoven circles, and you got to probably draw 3 more interwoven circles of that too, just for the hell of it. The 3 subplanes are the realms of your subconscious, and the upper 3 subplanes are the realm of your mental intuition. So we're going to have to break it down in order to actually see what this shit is. So if you got 3 circles at the top, 3 circles interwoven in the middle, and 3 circles interwoven at the bottom, that's how we're going to have to pull this shit out. The top 3 circles that's interwoven is your mental intuition, so you can see it. Your mental intuition, okay? All 3 of these, all 369, all 9 of these subplanes are your subconscious, but above it is your mental intuition, the 3 that's interwoven. Can you do it? Can you see it? 3 subplanes are the realms of your subconscious, and the upper 3 subplanes are the realms of your mental intuition, or the super subconscious, okay? Because super, sub, all of these are just fucking subplanes, though. Subconscious, super subconscious, or mental intuition. Can you see it? If you're drawing it, you should be able to see it. If you're listening, you probably still won't be able to see it and understand it. Okay, so the 3 subplanes are the realm of your subconsciousness, and the upper 3 subplanes are the realms of your mental intuition, or the super consciousness. It's your super consciousness is from where your soul descends into spirit and forms the body. It's your super consciousness is from where your soul descends into spirit and forms the body. The middle chamber, the first world. Nope, that's not what it says. The middle chamber, the first world. It's still not what it says. The middle chamber, the first, the world, the last. Remember the various levels of the mind, the walking conscious mind, as it works through your everyday awareness. And it is clothed again, in the matter of the physical plane. Let's take that shit slow. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's do it again. All right, mental intuition. Let's take it from the top. The 3 subplanes are the realms of your subconscious, and the upper 3 subplanes are realms of your mental intuition. The super consciousness is also what it's called. Your super consciousness is where your soul descends into spirit and forms the body in the middle chamber. We probably got to go to 708 just for the hell of it. Let me see. Nope, don't show it there. In the middle chamber, okay. In the middle chamber, the first, the world, the last. Remember the various levels of the mind, the walking conscious mind, as it works through your everyday awareness, and it is clothed in the matter of the physical plane, the walking conscious mind. The subconscious mind operates through the sympathetic nervous system, which is the system of cells, tissues, and organs that regulates the body's responses to internal and external stimuli. So here's what we got to do. J1, all those 3 subplanes all those 3 subplanes we did. You know we got to draw a body all around it, a human body, and put it inside of us. Put this shit inside of us. Draw the body of a shell, a human body. Because now you can actually see, if you do that, you'll be able to see that the subconscious mind operates through the sympathetic nervous system, which is the system of cells, tissues, organs that regulates the body responses to internal and external stimuli. So it's invertebrates. It consists of the brain, spinal, see it, and so now you see all of our 9 subplanes in a sense. From our head, because that top of that interwoven 3 circles we did should be right there where the brain is. The middle should be where our heart, stomach, and all of that, and everything else down below. Our solar system, our solar plexus, and then the other 3. Why people mind is on the cardinal, so they, below their stomach, they, genitals and shit. Okay, so now it makes sense. So now you can see it. So the subconscious mind operates through the sympathetic nervous system, which is the system of cells, tissues, and organs that regulates the body responses to internal and external stimuli. In vertebrates, it consists of the brain, spinal, nerves, ganglia, and different parts of the receptor and effector organs. The subconscious mind, as it operates your faculties of intuition, and the wisdom of the mind as it operates through you. As yet, undeveloped qualities of divinity are found at the end of the true seeker's path. The plane of force, which I told us is all around us, right? The plane of force is a plane largely composed of energy forces and etheric ka. See, the etheric ka is the etheric body, okay? The etheric ka, no, cat, is the etheric soul. And etheric ka duplicates of the physical plane's objects. And etheric ka duplicates of the physical plane's object. The plane of force is not subject to the law of gravitation as you understand it. The plane of force is dominated by the law of attraction. Upon the plane of force, there is neither distance nor time. There is no heat or cold, summer or winter, day or shadow hour. It is a plane of aspiring desires as well as cardinal. The physical plane consists of dense chemical regions of solid, liquids, and gases. And the etheric region consists of 4 higher physical ethers: ultra gases matter, life force ether, light ether, and mental ether. The attributes of Anu, Elun, Elunel, the Most High, the highest, formed on the higher planes, step down to become your intuition, the intuition of a human being. And the intuition of human beings stepped down into his conscious and became his character, his living soul. That was pretty hot there. Go back. 243. The plane of force is dominated by the law of attraction. Upon the plane of force, there is neither distance nor time. There is no heat or cold, summer or winter, day or shadow hour. It is a plane of aspiring desires as well as cardinal. The physical plane consists of dense chemical regions of solids, liquids, gases, turn the page, and the ether region consisting of 4 higher physical ethers. 4 higher physical ethers. Ultra gases matter, life force ether, light ether, and mental ether. They are 4 higher physical ethers. Ultra gases matter, life force ether, light ether, and mental ether. The attribute of Anu, Elun, Elunel, the Most High, the highest, formed on the higher planes. Step down, ultra gases matter, life force ether, light ether, and mental ether, formed on the higher planes, step down to become your intuition, the intuition of a human being. And the intuition of human beings stepped down into his conscious and became his character, his living soul. The ultra gaseous matter, which is ether. But what are they again, J1? They are what? 4 higher physical ethers. Got it. Physical ether. So, ultra gaseous matter ether. And the etheric region consisting of what? The 4 higher physical ethers. 4 higher physical ethers. Ultra gaseous matter ether is one of the 4 higher physical ethers. The ultra gaseous matter ether is the most dense and the lowest of all the 4 ethers of the physical plane. The ultra gaseous matter ether is the channel for all the physical forces with which you are familiar with, like heat, sound, light, motion, ultraviolet rays, cosmic rays. This ether subplane of the physical manifests aspects which operate in human beings under the direction of his conscious mind. So remember the drawing of the subplanes of the subconscious, and the first upper 3 subconscious is the superconscious or the mental intuition. So look back at your 3 interwoven circles and your 3 interwoven circles and your 3 interwoven circles. He's still explaining this shit, walking us through it. So for those who drew it. So the ultra gaseous matter, 267, ether, is the channel for all the physical forces with which you are familiar with, like heat, sound, light, motion, ultraviolet rays, cosmic rays, 275. This ether subplane of the physical manifests aspects which operates in human beings under his conscious mind. Go up to 261. No, go to 260. No, the mental ether, light force ether, ultra gases, 4 higher physical ethers formed on the higher planes, step down to become your intuition, the intuition of a human being, and the intuition of human beings stepped down into his conscious and became his character, his living soul. So this ether subplane, 275, of the physical plane manifests aspects which operate in human beings under the direction of his conscious mind. Within the physical form, the ultra gaseous matter, known as ether, within the physical form, the ultra gaseous matter, known as ether, is operating under the law of attraction. Now it makes sense. The ultra gaseous matter is the lowest form. It's the lowest form of ether. The most dense. 278. Known as ether is operating under the law of attraction. This makes sense. This is okay. And what governs what the law of attraction is over? The plane of force. This makes sense. This makes sense. The plane of force. The laws of attraction governs the plane of force. The lower form, or the lowest of all 4 ethers of the physical plane, is the ultra gaseous matter. The ultra gaseous matter, known as ether, is operating under the law of attraction, and it draws the physical form from the needed elements in the surrounding space, magnetized, and it makes them absorb to be utilized in the physical form. The ultra gases matter ether under the law of repulsion expels from the physical form all the materials that are no longer useful to its maintenance. This is all accomplished under the direction of the what? Subconscious mind. So where's the subconscious mind at? The three subs, the three to the three to the three, right? The three subplanes are the realms of the subconscious mind. The upper three are your realms of your mental intuition, right? Got it? So we drew the whole body that houses the three to the three to the three. The upper three, the lower three, and the middle three. This is very important because now we got the body outside housing the three subplanes, and the upper three subplanes is the mental intuition. And the subconscious mind operates our faculties of intuition, but the subconscious mind also operates through the sympathetic nervous system, which is the system of cells, tissues, organs, regulates the body responses to its internal, and external invertebrates, brain, spinal cord, nerves, ganglia, and different parts of the receptor and effector organs. The subconscious mind, as it operates your faculties of intuition, and the wisdom of the mind as it operates through you. And then he goes into the plane of force, 240. Now we get into ultra gases, because what governs the plane of force is the law of attraction, which makes the ultra gases matter. The lowest of all four ethers on the physical plane, because the ultra gases matter, known as ether, is operating under the law of attraction, and it draws the physical form. The ultra gases matter, ether, law of attraction, law of repulsion, expels from the physical form all the materials that are no longer useful to its maintenance. This is all accomplished under the direction of the subconscious mind. Lord, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes fucking sense. Ultra gases matter. Makes sense. The law of attraction. All of this is accomplished under the direction of the subconscious mind. You got to play with it. The life force ether. Let's go. All right. Probably got to draw a whole nother body to this shit. The life force ether. Remember now, the etheric region consists of the four higher physical ethers. So now we into life force ether. The life force ether is the source of vitality and life for all forms of the mental plane. And the mental plane is interwoven into the spiritual plane, which is interwoven into the plane of force, which is interwoven like a helix into the physical. It is a manifestation of your reproductive organs and all your seed after you. It operates in the female part of you, Kadmon, and in all her functions of reproduction. And from the moment of conception of Nekeba from you, you became man and woman and a reflection of man, which is your real self symbol of the two-ball cane, simply two-ball cane, son of Zillah, meaning in the shadow, out of the shadows of ignorance do we build with bronze and iron. Let's get back on point. The life force. The life force ether attracts from the elements around her, that which enables the growth of the new body in her being. Not all that you did, her, Kadmon. She will be mother of all living. The life force ether also manifests activity in producing semen in the male, the spark of life, be it male or female. It comes from your likeness to the Anunnaki, most glorified and exalted ones, blah, blah, blah. That's the life force ether. And what does it take place at? It's the source of vitality and life for all forms of the mental plane, and the mental plane is interwoven. So it actually descends from the mental plane that's interwoven into the spiritual plane, that's interwoven into the plane of force, which is interwoven like a helix into the physical. So that goes, there's your life force, starts on the mental plane, descending down to the physical. Light ether. The light ether is the tunnel from which light from the plane of force penetrates. This is very important. So remember our 1 through 7 3 times. We're going to go look back at that, and we're going to call that now the plane of force, since we already drew these planes. 1 through 7, 1 through 7, 1 through 7, 1 going up to 7, 1 going up to 7. All right, so light ether is the tunnel from which light from the plane of force penetrates. So this light is coming from the plane of force. We just got to figure out where. The light spreads and intermingles within the physical plane. Got it? The light ether is the tunnel from which light from the plane of force penetrates, spreads and intermingles within the physical plane, because the plane of force is all around us. This light ether. The light blinds human beings' emotional nature, which is to the emotional center in its physical form, which is located in the solar plexus. The solar plexus is 6.5 to 7 inches above the navel or umbilical seat, as the crimson crown stands 6.5 to 7 inches high. The emotional center superimposes the solar plexus area. The lobe of the light ether is always in perpetual motion. The mental ether. The mental ether forms the bridge, going back to the brain now, okay? Going back to the brain. The mental ether forms the bridge between the brain structure of the physical form and the mental body of the physical individual. You have a mental body. Let's do it again. The mental ether forms the bridge between the brain structure of the physical form and the mental body of the physical individual. So remember that the three to the three, the subconscious, and the three super subconscious, the three subplanes of your subconscious and the upper 3 subplanes. Remember that body you drew? Right. That's your brain up there. We drew the body over it. Now you can see it. So the mental ether forms the bridge between the brain structure of the physical form and the mental body of the physical individual. The mental ether is distributed through the brain centers. That's where your super conscious is at, or where your mental intuition is located, okay? If anybody who drew it, when I said draw it, that way you can see it, right?
90
so remember
seconds.
Now that upper 3, the higher, what does it say? The upper 3 subplanes are the realms of your mental intuition or super subconscious. That's all in your fucking brain. That's your upper 3 subplanes. So now mental ether forms the bridge between the brain structure of the physical form and the mental body of the physical individual.
60 seconds.
Upstairs in the brain. The mental ether is distributed through the brain centers. Let me do it again. The mental ether is distributed through the brain centers and throughout the cerebrospinal nervous system, which produces mental waves throughout the atmosphere. It is by these mental waves that your thought process functions. And it is because of this mental ether that thought forms are seen. Back to the true light. The true light reflecting your every
10 seconds.
Do we need a refresher on the true light? Do we need to refresher on the true light? Where does the true light come from? Where does the true light perspires through? The skin of the soul. So, remember the mental plane, where all thoughts are formed? On the fourth subplane of the mental plane. Now think of mental ether, forms the bridge between the brain structure of the physical form and the mental body of the physical individual. The mental ether is distributed through the brain centers and throughout the cerebral spinal nervous system, which produces mental waves throughout the atmosphere. It is by these mental waves that your thought processes function, and it is because of this mental ether that thought forms are seen. The true light reflecting your every thought. The mental ether, Taekwondo, is the channel for the transmission of thoughts from one individual to another, called telepathy. So, excuse me, where does mental ether form, or where at? Upstairs in your head. It forms the bridge between the brain structure of the physical form, and from there, the mental body of the physical individual. Okay, so your mental ether is distributed through the brain centers and throughout the cerebral spinal nervous system, which produces mental waves throughout the atmosphere. Now, let's get to 321, right? Well, I won't jump. Throughout the atmosphere, 315. It is by these mental waves that your thought processes function, and it is because of this mental ether that thought forms are seen. The true light reflecting your every thought. The mental ether is the channel for the transmission of thoughts from one individual to another, a form of telepathy, which will become increasingly responsive in these last days. In the physical form, okay, the heart, remember we drew our body? Remember we drew our body of the three subplanes and the higher subplanes of the conscious and the subconscious and the superconscious mind? Their heart is in the center of those other three subconscious planes. Got it? Of the mind. J1, you see it? Remember we drew our body. So, what does it say? The physical form, the heart, is the great center station of life activity. When the heart fails to pulsate, the body is dead. The bloodstream carries life throughout the channels of the body, being sent there not alone, but by the pumping action of the heart. And also by what? The law of magnetic attraction. Takes us right to, so we not only have ultra gaseous ether in us that is located, where's it located? Somewhere it's located. Where's it located? Come on. Within the physical form, the ultra gaseous matter known as ether is operating under the law of attraction, and it draws the physical form from all elements, blah, 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 utilizes the physical form to absorb the ultra gaseous ether under the law of repulsion, expels from the physical form, all blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, this is all accomplished under the direction of the subconscious mind. Okay, so not only we have ultra gaseous ether, where's the subconscious mind? In our bodies. It's 3 to the third power of 3. It's 3 fucking levels of each. 3, 3, 3, and 3 interwoven. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. It's in us. Ultra gases.
three. Just draw 3 intercircles interwoven, 3 intercircles interwoven, 3 and throw it and from top to mid to bottom, and then draw your whole body around it, because that's how you'll be able to see what this is saying. So we have the ultra gaseous matter, ether, life force, ether, mental. We have the light ether, boom. We have the mental ether, which I just finished saying. All of that. Where's the mental ether takes place at? Forms the bridge between the brain structure of the physical form? Yes, right? And throughout the cerebral spinal nervous system, did I not say it? Can you see it? It's important that you see it, which produces mental waves, thoughts, telepathy. That's at the top. That's at the top. That's at the top. That's the super subconscious working right there. Okay? The physical form. Now we're going into the physical form. Because we have 4 higher physical ethers, ultra gases, light force ether, light ether, and mental ether. We just finished them. Okay? Now it's time for the physical form. The physical form gives off energy from itself, as well as attracts energies into itself. From the marrow of the bones, which flow the ultra gaseous matter, ether. That's a clue there. So the marrow, the bone marrow, okay? Boom. So we know that the ultra gaseous ether, right, in the bone marrow, that's where it flows. Ultra gaseous ether from the marrow of the bones, which flow the ultra gaseous matter ether. Got it? It registers as a pale, silvery mist throughout the physical form. It's all around, all in us, everywhere, which is concentrated points of activity around all the vital organs. Its principal seat of activity is at the highest point of the right auricle of the heart. This is so important. Don't you have a heart? The highest, what does it say? Let's do it again. Its principal seat of activity is at the highest point of the right auricle of the heart. The physical body, when one dies, recycles from the ground in which it is planted and becomes life again. It penetrates into the atmosphere or fumes or dust particles, and they are breathed into the nostrils of human beings, where they are recycled by triggering nerves in the sinus cavity beneath the pyramid, beneath the nose. That works like a kidney to sift out the unneeded particles, and that related the chemical composure of that, which is needed into the mother's blood, in the mother's bloodstream. The human flesh is reanimated. This is the process by which a child is given form or flesh in the mother's womb. Okay? That is the physical part, newbie, the physical process. You have so many different physicals. I hope you can see it now, because you have physical ether, be it ultra gaseous ether, be it light ether, be it mental ether, be it, if I missed something, be it life force ether. All of those are physical ether. Coming down the plane, manifested as physical ether. So yes, you have a physical soul. The etheric double, it's the last one, and we're in overtime. The etheric double. Then there is the etheric double during the process of birth. Now, J1, what we're going to do? We're going to draw another body just for the hell of it. Or maybe keep our little subconscious and super subconscious third to the third power of third. Goddamn little interwoven shit. Okay? Because that's a lot. So then there is the etheric double. During the process of birth, the atoms of the new forming physical form stick fast to the atoms of the etheric form. the physical form, without the vital etheric form interpenetrating it, it is only an empty shell that possesses no vital life. Okay? So what happens? He just gave us the human flesh is reanimated, right? This is the process of which a child is given form or flesh in the mother's womb. Got it? The etheric double comes with this. Okay? Remember our body that we drew? For those that drew it, that can able to see the soul, the skin of the soul and all of that, then the outer body. All right, what we're going to do now, we're going to put that inside the woman. But we're not going to put the ether part on it. Now we're going to put the etheric double inside the dirt, inside the shell, for those that can follow me. Okay? Got it, J1? So now, okay, so we're going to act like we didn't draw the body and all that light around it yet. We're just going to we're going to put that etheric double right next to it. So then there is the etheric double. During the process of birth, the atoms of the new forming physical form stick fast to the atoms of the etheric form. So remember that the body, the outside body, which you call your skin and shit, those atoms now are sticking to the skin of the soul, the etheric double. He says it right there. Okay? Those who followed me should be able to follow this now. Those who followed me in taking a pen and paper and drawing this out should be able to see it now. Then there is the etheric double. During the process of birth, the atoms of the new forming physical form. Remember, for those people who are mothers and that's been pregnant. So now we are breathing in. What are we breathing in? We are breathing in the ultra gaseous matter of dead people, or dead shit, or dust of the ground. So now we are breathing in ultra gaseous matter, a pale silvery mist throughout the physical form, right? What does it say? When the physical form dies, the physical body, when once dies, is recycled from the ground in which it is planted and becomes life again. Verse 336. Goddamn, it penetrates into the atmosphere and films or dust particles, and they are breathed into the nostrils of a pregnant woman, if it is she is. So that's ultra gaseous matter happening for anybody who's been pregnant and actually formed this outer shell. So it's from the atoms now, right? Where they are cycled by triggering nerves in the sinus and the nose, blah, 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 that works like a kidney and sifts out the unneeded particles. And that related to chemical composure of that, which is needed in the mother's bloodstream. So now the ultra gaseous matter is in our bloodstream, mothers, got it? Forming the etheric double and the atoms. The atoms of the new forming physical form. A lot of us have been pregnant more than one goddamn time. So now we don't breathe in forming skin, which is atoms, and what happens after that? These stick fast to the atoms of the etheric form. So back to you for those who drew, when we drew the outer body. Got it? So what happened? So remember that body? We're going to call that the ultra gaseous matter that our mother breathed in, okay? And now it's atoms that's going to stick fast to the what? To the skin of the soul. And inside the soul is that shit we drew. I can't even make out my drawing now. Okay, you got it? Now, what happens after that, Mr. York? Stick fast to the atoms of the etheric form, the physical form. Without the vital etheric form interpenetrating it, it is only a what? An empty shell that possesses no vital life. So I need mothers to think for a second. The only way you were able to give birth to a vital life was simply that it needed a what? Etheric form. It needed an etheric form where the atoms of the dust of the ground can stick to it. Okay? If not, it's a what? An empty shell, and it what? Disintegrates. It requires the two of them to express life. The two of what? What is the two of them? The etheric double and the what? The physical body, or the altered gaseous ether, which is the dust particles of the ground, to form the body. It requires two of them to express life. The etheric body is an interlacing network of etheric wires. Is not the etheric body physical? I need somebody with some sense to answer that. Is not the etheric body physical? Has it not personified on the physical plane, in the physical body, inside of the physical dust of the fucking ground? Is not the etheric body inside of you, which makes it physical, but it's called the etheric double because of this? It's physical. It has to personify physical inside of you. So the etheric body is a physical etheric body. In order for you to even be animated, it has to be physical, etherically physical. Same way it said 6 ether and 9 ether personified as flesh and blood beings. What is flesh and what is blood? Again, 6 ether and 9 ether beings personified as what? Flesh and blood beings. That's physical. Again, the etheric body, now let's go. Okay, bam. So now the etheric body is an interlacing network of etheric wires that is knitted concentratedly at all the seats along the spine. Is the spine physical? Is the etheric body? It has to be manifested or personified in the flesh as interlacing network of etheric wires. God damn it. Knitted concentratedly at the seats along the spine. So inside your spine is physical. The etheric double personified as physical. What did it say? It had to stick fast to the atoms of the etheric form. That means if dust particles, if dirt, if skin got to stick fast to etheric form, that means what? That we're talking about an etheric form, ether in the physical form. Same way your soul is physical. Simply the fact of it is because it's in the physical body, ether, ultra gases, light ether, come on, mental ether, all has fucking, it's all physical. It has to personify in the physical for you to even be mental or electrified. God damn. Shit. Fuck. So, the etheric body is an interlacing network of etheric wires that are knitted concentratedly at all the seats along the spine. That's physical ether. That's physical ether. Your skin is ultra gaseous ether. It's manifest or materialized in the physical. The spirit, the principal point of contact. Your navel, hello, your navel is physical, yet the etheric double is the principal point of contact, is the navel or the umbilical seat of life, the navel. From there, it extends into the spleen. Oh, you don't say. This etheric double is physical, and it extends to the what? Just like the soul, it extends to the what? Into the spleen by the nerve ganglia. Okay? From there, it extends into the spleen by the nerve ganglia. From the umbilical seat of all human beings, desire arise, for this is an emotional center, a principal station of the subconscious mind. J1, did you draw your figure? Where's the subconscious mind located? There it goes again, a principal station of the subconscious mind in human beings. Though it operates under the influence of the what? Pituitary gland. And where is the pituitary gland located, boys and girls? We're talking about the etheric double here. That is all knitted, concentrated wires, etheric lacing of wires, network of etheric wires, knitted concentratedly at all the seats along the spine. The principal point of contact is the navel, the umbilical seat of life. Where is that located? The solar plexus. The soul. We just read the true light, the soul light, and all that light, boo, the light, ether, boo, all that. We did all that, didn't we? Yeah, we did. So here we go. So where else it say, boo, boo? For this is an emotional center, a principal station of the subconscious mind in human beings. Though it operates under the influence of the pituitary gland. We're talking about the etheric double here, people. Or the seat of light of the third eye at the tip of the nasal pyramid, the brow seat. The eye is at the cornerstone of your own pyramid. Beautiful. So, if it is, everybody should be able to see it. If you follow me from the moment I went live and told everybody to get a pen and paper to draw all this shit out, to draw it properly, you will see that we are talking about physical aspects of ether, physical aspect of soul and spirit and the skin of soul, physical aspect of light, true light coming from you, physical aspect, physical, dematerialized, personified. These whole light beings personified as 6 or 9 ether, flesh and blood beings. Ether, flesh and blood. Soul, flesh and blood. Spirit, flesh and blood. Light, flesh and blood. Physical. Okay? Yet all belong to LAHUT and descended. That's why he gave us the descending planes from LAHUT to the plane of divine reality, plane of truth, which is the spark of life. That's where the spark comes from, the 6th plane, on to the what? To the plane of reality. Now you are materializing from the what? What comes after that plane? The plane of divine, the plane of truth. Boom, the mental plane. Boom, the what plane? Spiritual. Boom, the plane of force. Boom, the physical plane. All ether on this side of hydrogen. There you have it, thus giving you atoms. I don't know what else I can say. I don't know what more I can say. I don't even know. I mean, shit, this motherfucker here is going to go fucking viral, because if you don't see this shit, you're going to have to take your time and take your time and really draw this shit out. That, man, you know this man knows the fuck, man. I got to give my nigga my props, man. This motherfucker gets it all, okay? Because if not, it's going to still be left understood and not overstand. So those that follow me in the beginning of this show, do you understand or do you overstand now? Those that literally got a sheet of fucking paper and a pencil, drew the planes like I told you, drew the subplanes of the three subplanes of the three higher subplanes of the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Do you overstand or do you understand? If you understand, you got to go back, rewind it 30 minutes into the show when I go live, and do what the fuck I say and follow it clearly. Write it down. Do the work. Take your hand. Pick up a pen. Take some paper. Draw that shit to see that shit. Okay? Because reading it over and over again ain't going to work. You're going to have to actually see the subplanes, see all the planes, the density levels, the vibratory levels from descending and ascending, and also the subconscious, superconscious, and the middle subconscious. All of that shit is inside your body, including the soul, which the spirit house, which the body house, and also the mind. And the ultra gases, ether, mental ether, light ether, life force ether, on down to the physical plane, where the ultra gaseous matter is basically recycled and creates the etheric fucking double. Once the form of the flesh is inside, the atoms stick to the etheric double. That's beautiful. It sticks to the etheric double. So think of the etheric double already seated in the center, and the body. When the mother breathes in, those atoms is sticking and forming the shell for the etheric double. It's forming the shell, the skin. That's that. And inside that is how and mind you, the soul and the skin of the soul and all of that manifests on the mental substance. That's what it said, right? The force field, the mental force field, the mental force field, the mental force field. Keep that in your mind. The mental force field. I got to find it. The mental force field. The mental force field. The mental force field. It's on this page. The mental force field. Well, I thought it was. Damn, I didn't know I went so far. The mental force field. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this spark is an individual making them. And that same spark he's talking about on page 688, it comes from the plane of divine reality. That's the sixth plane, that spark right there. Okay? And then descend. That's why he gave us the descending planes, to show you how the soul is, where's the soul formed first, the mental, the spiritual plane, and the mental interwoven. On down. It descends on down. I love this nigga. This is so fucking fine. The pituitary. Oh, I want to dance on this for 12 seconds, and then I'll give y'all to see the Kadmon, then I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. The principal station, though it operates under the influence of the pituitary. What operates under the influence of the pituitary? Let's do it again. Ether body is the interlacing network of etheric wires that are knitted concentratedly at all the seats along the spine. The principal point of contact is the navel or umbilical seat of light. From there, it extends into the spleen by the nerve ganglia. From the umbilical seat of all human beings, desire rise, for this is an emotional center. a principal station, there it is, a principal station of the subconscious mind in human beings, though it operates under the influence of the pituitary gland or the seat of light. Right. Where's the pituitary gland located? This is your etheric double, baby. See, here's the thing about it, and I think this is where newbie may have gotten mixed up, because if you want to, like most people want to separate the physical from the physical spirit, from the physical ether, from the physical, but all this has to manifest on the, what's it called? I don't like using the word manifest. Has to personify or descend down on the physical plane in order for you to be you. In order for you to be you. So I hope that helps. I'm going into the seed of Kadmon. Miss Hudson, did you do your walk today? Did you get your 5 miles in? Make sure you get 5 miles in every day. And if your hips or your calves start hurting, it's because you never used them. You need to also do hip stretches and hip exercises when you begin to use something you haven't used. Okay. So the seed of Kadmon, and it's only 19 verses. I'm going to knock it out. The seed of Kadmon, lo, Kadmon, your seed's life will be governed more by emotions than by willpower. This is a hard statement here. I'm on page 698 for those who need to know. The tablet 2, the name of the show, the seed of Kadmon. Lo, Kadmon, your seed's life will be governed more by emotions than by willpower, which means that they will think as much with their abdominal brain in the solar plexus as with the brain in their head. This is so important because we just, J1, I know J1 did it. I would call other people's names, but I don't know if y'all did it. So J1, J Jizzle, remember the body that we went and drew the whole body around the subconscious mind, the superconscious mind, and then that lower 3? Where's that located? In the stomach, in the solar plex. That's what he's saying here, which means that they will think as much with their abdominal brain in the solar plex as with the brain in their head. Now, J1, what is the brain in their head is? It's called the super conscious. You know, I'll do that ether shit again. It's the super conscious, right? And also called the what? Mental intuition. Not your gut feeling. It's the mental intuition upstairs and your gut downstairs. Your gut feeling, emotional. More than your willpower. Let's take it from the top. Kadmon, your seed's life will be governed more by emotions than by willpower, which means that they will think as much with their abdominal brain in the solar plexus as with the brain in their head. So they're using their what? Their subconscious mind. That's what they're using. The sub of the subconscious mind. Okay? At the present, desire is the motivating factor and the most powerful force in the human being's life. There are 2 desires at the root of emotions: attract and retreat. Let's write that one down for anybody that actually has a paper and a pen with them. So there are 2 desires at the root of emotions. Where did he say emotions was at, y'all? The umbilical seat. Yes, go to 356, the umbilical seat. From there, it extends into the spleen by the nerve ganglia. For this is the emotional center. From the umbilical seat of all human beings, desire arise. For this is an emotional center, the principal station of the subconscious mind in human beings. That's the subconscious mind, the emotional seat, the emotional center, the umbilical seat. All right, set the stomach once again. So there are two desires at the root of emotion. One, let's write this down, in the stomach. That's where your desires are at, in the stomach. So that's attract, I am writing, and it is retreat. Those are two. So human desire, attract, okay? Attract is human desire to escape, human desire to possess or move towards something. So that's all in the stomach. Possess, because mind you, you ain't using willpower. Possess or move towards something, okay? Retreat, human desire to escape something, okay? That's all in the stomach, all right? Great day, Jason. How you doing, baby? Debra. Escape, the desire to escape something, okay? Those are the two desires at the root of emotion, okay? Where's emotion? So, J1, we might as well draw a human figure for the hell of it and draw a circle in the center where their stomach at. And inside, because that's the emotional seat in the stomach, in the, whatever the fuck, the abdominal brain, solar plex. And we're going to draw an arrow inside that bitch, and it's the root. So that shit is at the bottom of the umbilical seat. Bottom, at the very bottom of the solar plex. Yeah, so the most powerful force in the human being's life. There are two desires at the root of emotion, okay? And that's attract and retreat. Now, here we go. I don't know why motherfuckers didn't hit me the first time, but I'm going to say it again because now it's right there in the book. The spiritual aura extends beyond the outside of the physical form. Lucky for you and I, J1, we already did the spiritual aura outside of the body. The spiritual aura extends beyond the outside of the physical form. Since the emotions of human beings presently rule their life. That's nasty. Since emotions of human beings, let me try to say it. Since people emotions rule their life, everything they do is, everything's fucking emotional with these motherfuckers. Everything, no matter what. So, okay, so shit. I gotta back page. The spiritual aura stands beyond the outside of the physical form. Since the emotions of human beings presently rule their life, their spiritual form is entering the height of its development. Their spiritual sense organs are starting to speed up, which means that they are beginning to function on the spiritual. See, let's do it again. The spiritual aura extends beyond outside of the physical form, okay? So it's inside you, coming out, and extends beyond the outside of the physical form. So a motherfucker can see your light 5 to 10 miles away, probably longer than that. That's how they follow your attraction. Since the emotions of human beings presently rule their life, their spiritual form, because remember, emotions is your spiritual. Your spiritual emotions are formed on the spiritual form, on the spiritual level. Their spiritual form is entering the height of its development. Their spiritual sense organs are
starting to speed up, which means that they are beginning to function on the spiritual. During the hours when their physical consciousness is asleep, with their spiritual sight now, their hearing and awareness awakens the dormant spiritual self. This can be preempted by sleep paralysis to simulate experiences that did not actually happen. This spiritual form contains counterparts of your physical and sense organs. That's why we can feel getting fucked when we're resting. We can feel it. This spiritual form contains counterparts of your physical and sense organs. The spiritual form has eyes, nose, and mouth, but its organs are not used in the same way as they are on the physical plane. You see through the eyes on the physical plane, and on the spiritual planes, the perception is different. I'm going to do the seed of Kadmon again, because the next tablet is the spiritual form, and you're going to see it again, that we're talking about. See, if you real quick take a peek at the spiritual form, tablet 3, but on the spiritual plane, one sees and perceives through the entire physical form. See that? On the spiritual plane, one sees and perceives through the entire physical form, with the eyes serving only as focal points. Human beings on the spiritual plane far surpass the ranges on which the physical beings are capable. You have a spirit and a soul. You just got to use it. Human beings on the spiritual plane far surpass the ranges on which the physical beings are capable. The matter is what? Energy. The matter energy of which the spiritual form is composed is constantly in rapid motion. So the sense of seeing, hearing, or tasting, smelling, and feeling are not stabilized through any particular nerve channel. The spiritual form also contains a conscious, which is a counterpart of the what? Physical plane, with this one difference. The spiritual form also contains a conscious, which is a counterpart of the physical brain, with this one difference. The spiritual conscious is capable of remembering what? Both your spiritual experiences and your physical experiences. I love the living soul. The mental force field, there we go again, embraces the upper part of the physical form, extending down to the root seat of light at the base of the spine. Its principal points of contact are the pineal pituitary area, the throat area, the solar plexus. The seat of consciousness is of the world of light and things focused in the brain, and it passes through the medulla oblongata into the spinal column. The spinal column is the elongation of the seat of consciousness, the seat of visions and senses in the spiritual world of pure blackness, the realm of the three imaginations and true overstanding and bliss, which exists before the light of knowledge and chaos. This peaceful darkness is the hippocampus area of the brain, the seat of God, and that it is a carrier of liquid ether substance which travels upward to the seat of the highest point of the brain used, darkness or downward to the seat of light in the root or the base of the spine. Liquid ether is equivalent to E2 plus E8, which on The physical elementary chart is H2O8. That is 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen producing water. On the etheric chart is 2 ether 1s plus 1 ether 8 to produce liquid ether. This is one of my favorites, and I think that's the end of the spiritual form. But we're going to dance on it again. We're going to dance on it again, even though I did the seed of Kadmon, which is the name of this show today. But before I get out of here, Zena, your mic is open. Did you want to add or say anything, or should we rewind or anything? Yay?
No,
you there?
I'm good. I'm good.
Were you able to follow this through?
You just said, that's exactly what I was saying. That was all I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. What I said at the beginning is what you read, pretty much. That's all I was saying.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if anybody else was able to follow it through from the refresher of the living soul all the way to, because I'm gonna do spiritual and the other one again, the spiritual form. We're gonna do that on Saturday if I'm alive. Yeah, that's it. Because the seed of Kadmon. Yeah. I'll redo the seed of Kadmon, but the name of the show next Saturday is the spiritual form. Because we got to take our time on that one too. It's so damn good. So everybody good? Everybody straight? Zena, you got anything you want to go into the What and Where is Hell? Is that the one, or is it Life After Death? You want to read that?
No.
Sadia, you good? Zena good? Everybody good? Okay. So did this help everybody? Did this help? Did it help drawing the picture and all that stuff, and drawing the levels of vibration on the physical plane and all that? Did that help to actually see all of this, plus the etheric double, how it sticks to the atoms of the body, or the atom sticks to the etheric double? That's the shit that's inside the bacteria. Ain't that cool? I can see it. I can see it so clear. I can see it so clear. See it so clear now. All right. So, shit. That's it, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Zena. Everybody that called in, thank you, Newbie. Everybody that tuned in, everybody that got it, man. I don't know if Brian got it because I remember he asked the question, but it's important that you draw. You got to draw it. But anyway, so El's Holy Tablet Show next Saturday, same time, same place, if Allah's willing. And don't forget, the Son of Man show is 12 noon. The Man of the Hour is at 4 o'clock. Y'all enjoy y'all Sunday, Day of the Sun. Donna Coleon, I'm signing out, man. It's been rewarding. Y'all have an rewarding day. Peace. With that real nigga ready.